sabotages everything, if that makes sense. Like we start, self-sabotaging our own identity. We start acting differently in business transactions without realizing it, because we're not on.
Well, because we feel self-conscious on a subconscious level that it doesn't even come to the surface.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just telling Nick up front, my wife and I were talking a few months ago about, hey, before I met her in my 20s, I just worked a lot, spent a lot of time with my older daughter because it was me and her, and it worked out. And it's like, well, how come I was so busy with so much business at that point? It's because, again, what I just told like 5 minutes ago, is because I remembered and applied the fact that the important thing was making sure my daughter was okay, taking care of what I thought was the important thing, and then the business came second, and it became fast and furious. So like, okay, and then now what I've changed is really being intentional about what I'm doing. It's like, oh, wow, no, let me pay attention to you, Mr. and Mrs. Klein. Let me make sure that I'm focused on you for this 5 minutes or the 10 minutes, and it seems like it's all coming to me now. So obviously it was there.
This business is going crazy.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? Join us.
I know, it's just that my client drove from Arizona, but
wow.
he said he was gonna be here at 4. And now he's telling me, I just exited the 6:05. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
darn it. And he drove from Arizona.
Nice.
Oh, that's good.
To meet with me.
This is your one you just
Wow.
closed, right?
Fantastic.
I know, but I feel bad.
Okay.
Cause
I don't feel bad for you. Take the appointment.
you should have seen my post yesterday.
Yes.
I try to get everyone here to meet with you. I'm like, let's meet David. Let's go see him.
Good.
It's our business plan for 2020.
Good.
Perfect timing.
Yeah.
I'm recording it, I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Oh, that's
But
good.
I'm still, let me reconfirm. I just want to make sure maybe he's going to grab something to eat, or maybe he can visit a friend, and then I can stay here for a little bit, then meet him. Because that was the original plan, was 4. You know what I mean?
Okay, sounds good.
Everybody wants to talk about the 2020 business plan.
Yes.
Okay.
And I said, yeah, you should have talked about that 2 months ago.
It's already 2021. What are you talking about right
that's,
now?
that's what I said, but no, the intentionality I think is a huge thing, I mean, yeah, just,
Yeah.
like I said, I know it works.
Get you a business card for you. Different card with you by chance?
Whereabouts from Arizona is he coming?
Chino Valley.
Oh, okay.
He just moved. I just sold
Oh,
his
wow.
property.
You knew
Oh,
Dan,
But he's
right?
coming
I know
down
Dan.
to get on
And
his
Frida.
paperwork and
They're
all that
like,
stuff.
Oh, okay.
And he says he
Okay.
has something for me, and I have
We're like
something
in
for
Oh,
him.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Fridays.
Awesome.
And so I've been following you for a while now, but I'm like, hey, I see you doing the events. I'm like, hey, and then I seen Karina, and then I sent her a message, and then I seen her last Friday, and she was like, oh yeah, let me know, I'll go with you. I'm like, all right, and then it popped up, and so I called her yesterday. Yeah, it worked out.
Good. Good timing.
Yeah,
Especially something like this.
I
where
know,
we
and
have
I
a
live
little
in the
bit of
same
time.
city too, so it's perfect.
Good.
Whereabouts?
I live right there in East Whittier, right there. You know where?
Oh.
Do you know the area?
Kind of, yeah. My aunt used to live out here, so I'm in San Bernardino, but yeah.
Oh, okay, so I live right there. It's called Michigan Park.
Okay.
It's a park where I don't know. It's a nice park.
Okay.
So
Okay.
everybody knows where that is.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
Let me see.
it's kind of like borderline the nice part of Whittier, like Friendly Hills.
Okay.
So it's like
Oh.
right there.
Oh wow. How long have you
I
been
live
there?
on the poor side, though. I say.
On the fourth side.
Yeah.
How long have you been there?
This year will be 4 or 5 years that I bought it.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. And you have kiddos?
2 kids, 11-year-old and a 7-year-old. I tried to bring my wife, but
Oh.
she had to go to Santa Monica for some merchant, and so
She does the same as you?
Yeah, so
Oh.
I do outside. She does all the inside.
Wait, so do you run you own your own merchant
Yeah,
service
it's our
business?
company,
Right. Okay.
So
Okay.
so she does like all the internal like merchants complain about, or not complain, but call for like an issue with their deposits or whatever it may be. So she'll do that, and then I handle the reps or the accounts.
Oh, I
Like,
see.
if
Okay.
there's something like a customer, like earlier I was in Azusa, and then after here, because I'm like, no, I was gonna go to Chino because I had another customer that he's having issues,
Mhm.
and so I'm like, well, after here I'm gonna go straight over there. to Chino.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So I'm all
Towards
over the
60,
place.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So what kind of like what kind of counts are they?
So okay, so today I went to a liquor store,
Mm-hmm.
and then at 3:30. I mean, I told him I'd be there at 4:30. It's a mechanic shop.
Oh,
So he's in Chino. So I have accounts all
with
over
all
the
of
place.
your
Yeah,
machines.
Yeah,
and-
like-
okay.
different states. So
Uh huh. Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Interesting. Okay.
Quite a few.
Okay. Good. That's
yeah,
so. It's actually the card machine.
yeah. So
right?
yes, the system like the big computers or the little machines.
Uh huh.
And so and then this morning I was in Whittier because they're opening the first brewing company in Whittier, and so.
Oh.
They're gonna do like a soft opening tomorrow, and I wanted to make sure everything was
Oh,
ready to go because I don't want to
Let's
get
do
calls
some
like,
tests.
hey, the system's not,
Not working. That's a
Yeah.
good idea. That's always.
So
good.
I was there in the morning.
What's the name of the company?
For what?
The brewing.
Oh, Whittier Brewing Company.
Oh, what are your brewing
And
company?
then
It's pretty big. You see that?
yeah, so he's right there, right in Greenleaf in
Okay.
Philadelphia. He's at the corner,
Mm-hmm.
and then he has it's called Poet Garden. So he has like 6 restaurants inside there. So it's like a coffee shop, the brewery, a pizza place, kind of like a ceviche, sushi,
Oh, okay.
and then what else does he have?
He owns all of those.
Yeah, he has a few restaurants in Whittier too.
Oh, I see.
And
Okay.
so he's doing that as a project.
Plus it's brewing.
Yeah.
Brewing. Well, that's cool. That's really nice. Nice. So it's kind of like word of mouth that people hear from you?
Yeah, word of mouth or the guys, the reps, they go out and sometimes I go out, but I don't like to do the legwork anymore. I don't like to do like the cold doors.
Yeah.
If I get an appointment, I'll pretty much close them.
Right.
But like the going,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't like it unless I go with one of the guys. Like,
Together
hey,
as a
I'll go.
team?
Yeah, I'll go
Yeah.
with him.
Are they
Support or whatever it may be.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I try not. to.
Did you ask
Okay.
them?
What else should I
Okay.
talk about? What else can I talk to you
Good.
about for? Because I have a couple more people. Kevin just had his baby boy last Saturday.
Oh, wow.
So he's at home. He's working still. Just got an offer accepted on a property last night. But he's
Wow.
Working from home.
Doing the daddy thing.
Yeah.
Cute.
There you go.
Newborn.
I didn't see.
I need my glasses.
Want mine?
I need glasses now.
I don't have it on, so I gotta keep mine on. What else should I be, yeah.
Probably the topics we talk about now. I may do a business plan, but I'll throw a few twists in there.
Normally there's about 10 to 12 agents that come to this, but we kind of figured because it's such close time to Christmas, a lot of people just kind of check it
Yeah,
out.
no, it's better. It's more intimate.
Yeah, no,
Well,
you
this
guys
is a one-on-one now.
We were just talking right now that normally we'll talk like 10 minutes before or 10 minutes after, and I get a lot out of that 10 minutes, just kind of rapid fire.
We can do an hour this time if you want. I don't have to
Yeah,
be so
no, I
formal.
mean, shit.
I've got 2 or 3 topics that are strong on my mind that I would love to share in the business plan. We can do or skip for next time. Kids, that kind of honestly, videotaping and then they're not going to watch it might be better just to do it in January. for
That's
them.
kind of what I'm thinking, to
Or
be
something.
honest. I mean, that'd be better since you're gonna be back in January, so. While I'm remembering right now, Roz,
Yeah.
is it possible to get him here earlier? Can you look at that? Not in January. Is it possible to get him here earlier? No, huh?
No, he's coming from Fontana.
That's what I thought, and a different day would only be the way, and even then, there's no other days, right?
I can look at that, but yeah,
I don't
I'll
think so,
check.
I know we've talked about it, but I don't think so.
Doesn't get it, but no.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought too, I wanted to say it out loud just to kind of, so I
Yeah,
can
no,
kind of
that's fine, that's fine.
remember, so.
Yeah, it comes to my head, I've been trying to, cause we have our lunch and learns and our
Yeah.
other things that we're doing, so
Uh-huh.
that's time blocked. After this time, yeah, David.
Yeah, no, I figured this is kind of be like.
This was like the sweet spot. that we
Yeah,
spoke
that's kind
about.
of what I figured, because of traffic and all that kind of stuff, because I think, all the other days, like, they just didn't work.
And always in this area at this time of day, right?
Yeah, generally.
What's that?
Even like Chris and those guys, like 2 o'clock in
2
the afternoon, it's the same
o'clock, yeah.
thing. It's like
Oh.
sort of on the way back.
Uh-huh.
Right, yeah,
it's
next
like
stop
that.
is,
Yeah, that's
you're-
kind of what I figured too,
Okay.
so.
We start from Inland Empire and work
And
our
work our
way.
way backwards, basically.
That's the Inland Empire. I thought that was Arizona.
It depends on what time of year.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
in July and August, it's Arizona, yeah,
Okay.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, but they were asking for another day.
No, just an earlier time.
Oh, earlier time.
Earlier time
Wow.
is the only issue, just
I see.
earlier time, so.
Mm.
Cause ideally people would like it like from 12 to 2.
Okay.
Because for some reason, today is like the day that everybody, oh, I gotta leave at like 1:45. Or I've gotta leave at like 2 or 2:50. You've seen it where
Yeah,
you get the full house and all of a sudden like about 2:30ish,
they have
you
to.
get some people kinda leaving, some people kinda come in, so,
Yeah.
you know.
Maybe I've been doing this too long, so maybe you shouldn't listen to what's about to come out of my mouth.
Yeah,
Like,
go ahead.
we get that at 8 in the morning, we get that
Well, I
in
was
the
gonna
afternoon, we
say,
get
I
that at
would
6 at
imagine
night.
it's
It's like,
probably, yeah,
Yeah.
every time is the wrong time, or there's some kind of something, so,
Right,
you know,
they
but.
have kids and
Hello.
pick up and drop off. and-
how are you?
I'm coming over. Are we, is it just us?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's gonna be all intimate today.
yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't even heard the 2020 spill.
we're not doing 20.
We're not doing that one
Yeah.
again.
Oh, okay.
yeah, we're not doing that.
What's 2020
Yeah,
spill?
the 2020 spill is, that's almost 3
Maybe that
months ago.
scared him away.
That's
Maybe,
3 months
that's
ago.
what it did, yeah,
3
oh, I
months
heard
ago,
it,
so.
yeah.
Alright, well, hit me, let's start talking
Okay.
about stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take a seat, I'm recording,
Grab the
so.
bar stool, how's that?
Yeah, grab a seat, grab a bar stool.
Okay.
You know, I'll grab a bar stool too, what the hell?
Yeah, grab a chair. Make it cozy.
We're gonna be,
How are you?
we're gonna be intimate.
How you doing?
I'm everybody.
You are everybody.
Just kidding.
How are you?
Hi.
Everybody, that's anybody.
Yes. Hi, Adriana. Hi, Adriana.
Oh, nice to meet you, Mark. We're not going to do the 2020 business plan stuff, we're gonna actually talk about more intimate.
Unless you're desperate for it.
No, you're not desperate for it, you're fine. We're gonna do that
I'll
now.
let my doctor tell you what I need.
Yes, 100%,
Yeah.
so.
I've got 1 or 2 or 3 topics I could throw at you guys, but I'm open to stuff. So if you guys are, if you have something that's on your mind, Dr. Dave's here now. You got the intimate setting here, so we can talk about anything. The only one I want to harsh on for a few minutes is if you don't mind, 20-30 minutes of entrepreneurial mindset without tactics and technique and strategy for a few, if you don't mind. I don't know if this is going to come across as an event, but yeah, it's cool.
What's up?
So, my team now, I mean, Rosalind works with me, right? So it's myself plus Rosalind plus now 14 others, which is always interesting because our overhead's kind of high now. I mention this because every Friday we do a team call, okay? So everybody gets on from wherever they live, and one person's in India, and one person's in Puerto Vallarta, and one person's in, Georgia, and one person's in, San Bernardino, and here, and blah, blah, blah. And we go through our metrics, and I can even show you if you want to see what this thing looks like. We go through detailed metrics from the business, and we talk about, victories and challenges, okay? Those calls last an hour, lately a little longer than that because the team's a little large, but we do these calls. And about 2 weeks ago or whatever, one of the things that I'm sharing with the people on the team privately is be careful, December's a funky month. So we do, well, you know this, you may not, Frank, but we do coaching, right? So I do in-person coaching like this with organizations and even individuals, but I also do a lot of coaching by, video conferencing or by phone, okay? And we do that, one-on-one coaching and stuff and group coaching. But we also have products. So we run, as you know, we manage people's databases for them in order to get them leads and transactions. We run their social media for them in order to get leads and transactions, that stuff actually works, shockingly. So as I think my phone's about to run dead, but nope, it just ran dead, but I just forwarded.
Every single time.
You need a charger?
I know, Android?
Yeah, I can get one for you.
That'd be awesome, yeah, thank you. So, I just texted this to Russ. Where's your text? I have no
Oh,
idea.
right here, I'll show you there.
Oh man, I would have found that someday. And so, I didn't forward, it's on the pedestrian one. Here we go. So I got this text from a broker, Frank Arrow, who's also privately coaching with me, who's also doing the database and the social media with me, and this was today at 8 minutes ago from Frank Arrow. Hi David, just scheduled my first 2020 appointment thanks to your social media marketing message. And so we replied back, yes, great, wonderful, whatever, okay? So we get this stuff a lot. And however, are you ready? So we're doing these products, we're doing people's database, we're doing people's social media for them, we're doing their follow-up phone calls for them as a product, we do their finances for them, all that stuff's great, and I'm not necessarily here to pitch the products, But I'm here to tell you that just because people are using our products and get a lot of leads and deals doesn't mean they're all going to be happy. So, as I'm sharing with all my team, like, beware, it's December, and so we're going to get more complaints about our products than ever before. Why December? Well, the answer is very simple. Because you people aren't working as hard. So here's what happens in business. So you ready? This is a little bit about entrepreneur's mindset. When people work less, as your industry has a tendency, I'm talking real estate industry mostly here, Frank, but has a tendency to do. For example, on Monday of my 17 coaching calls, only 8 or 9 showed up. And that's welcome to December. Dave doesn't care. I'll just take that time and hang out with my family and go for little walks with my wife and do work. Okay? Eddie, forgive me. Eddie, forgive me. And, but we're... Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you should call me by a different name, right? Okay, sorry, Eddie.
At least he likes you.
But half the people are not showing up for the coaching sessions, and it's worse than you think. So let's talk real estate for a minute. Those people that are not working their real estate businesses hard are sabotaging 2020 already, because all your pipeline's getting built now. I'm going to move this.
No.
Your
I
pipeline.
actually could go there if you want. Are you sitting here? I'll go over here.
Okay.
I have the camera.
So your pipeline for 2020 is getting built now. Does that make sense? So anybody that's that's why, like, even Mark talking about the business plan today, it's too late for the business plan. It's too late. You're toast, dudes. It's January and February. It was built on the backs of your efforts in October, November, December. And if you slacked off, you suck. You're screwed. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start January and February behind the 8 ball. Tough. And when you start a year behind, the whole year sucks. I'm sorry, but that's entrepreneurship. You cannot screw this thing up. You have to work your asses off in October, November, December. Period. Okay. But because people are checking out, and only half of my clients are even showing up for their coaching sessions, or like, look at this room as an example today, right? And it's normal. There's a worse problem that happens. Problem number 1, the big problem is your business is going to go down. But there's a second simultaneously bad problem. You ready for the second bad problem? Because you're working less, you're wasting your time on minutia more. Let me give you an example. We have 210 clients or whatever the number is that are using our database program right now. We have almost 100 now doing the social media product with us. I told people on my team, here's what's going to happen in December. Not only are people not going to show up as much for my coaching sessions, because that's the way they are, but you're going to get far more customer complaints about our database product and our social media product than in any other month of the year, because when people aren't working, their mindset goes to shit, pardon my French. Interesting? So be careful. There are only 2 antidotes to a bad... Now let me give you some examples. Are you ready? So why did I know this was going to be a big deal last week for my team? 2 weeks ago on a Friday conference call with my own team, I told them, brace yourselves. Next week's going to suck. So why? For 2 reasons. Ready? Number 1, it's December. Number 2, in our database program and social media program, we sent out messages to get deals and to get leads last week. So you're thinking, well, why would that cause customer problems? When I just shared with you somebody who got a lead, and we have tons I could show you on, or whatever this thing charges, I could show you tons of testimonials. I don't know if you saw, but if you look on my Facebook profile right now, yesterday we posted that a broker got 16 leads from one of our social media posts we put for her. You can see it from yesterday.
I did.
Okay? And even on the post, we had like 100 likes and 40, 50 comments or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So why would people complain when they're getting business because of our efforts? Are you ready? Because they don't just get deals and leads, they also get opt-outs, unsubscribes, and complaining customers at the same time. My topic for the next 15, 20 minutes, with your permission, is, are you tough enough to build a business? That's my topic for you. Are you tough enough to build a business? Most people are not. But they're in real estate. I deal with a lot of real estate people, Eddie, as you probably know, and through Dan and stuff, but I will tell you this, most people in real estate are not tough enough to build a business. Like the heavy majority are not. And the reason they're not is simple. The test was easy, sorry, and there's no money required to get into real estate. There's no barrier to entry, so everybody and their freaking mom is a realtor. And then they don't even think they have to reinvest in their business because they don't think like a business owner anyway. They never did. And they're definitely not tough enough when the going gets tough or somebody tells them, I didn't like your marketing or something. So let me give you examples of the customer complaints we got on Thursday and Friday in droves. Are you ready? Because I knew it was coming, and we also got tons of victories in droves at the same time. Okay? Number 1, 2 real estate brokers called my customer service line to complain to my people because our marketing messages about, hey, interested in buying or selling a home or whatever, went to their own realtors. Like imagine Angel marketing to you guys, hey, do you have, you interested in buying or selling? So the brokers got all freaked out because they're like, oh, I don't want my realtors to think I'm competing with them directly now. Are you with me? That was one complaint we got. Another one, 3 people called our customer service line to complain, listen to this one, that their our text messages hit their clients at 3 in the morning. And they were right. They hit at 3 in the morning. And I hope everybody in this room understands, we didn't program them for 3 in the morning. We programmed them for morning delivery, like 8, 9, 10 in the morning, like normal. But, Lion Desk does not have multi-million-dollar servers like Google does.
Right.
So they get loaded up, and sometimes the stuff doesn't go out immediately. And once in a while, maybe during holiday season, it went out literally like 12, 15, 18 hours later. Are you with me? But we got 3 complaints about that. Why did you send out the messages, blah, 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 right? With the usual 1 or 2 are rude and threats and stuff, and most people are cool. Got it? We also had our usual barrage of many complaints about, are you sure we should be messaging weekly on the database product? We had a lot of unsubscribes, isn't this too much and stuff? So can we chat about this topic a little bit? You know where I'm going with this one already, but it's intentional because my people don't understand what it takes to run and build a business. It takes thick skin, kiddos. Fair enough? Okay, interesting thing happens along the way. On Monday, I'm doing my coaching sessions. A lot of people don't show up, some people do. One person that showed up to the coaching session was the broker, one of the brokers that complained about marketing to her people. And what's interesting is she gets on the call with me, and she's like, Dave, how are you? Merry Christmas, whatever. I'm like, great, how you doing? I won't mention names, of course. And I said to her, hey, let me give you a couple topics. What do you want to get into? And she said, I'd really love to get into database if you're okay with that. And I'm like, okay, what do you want to get into database about? Now, you understand I know her complaint already. And she may or may not know that I know, right? So she says, Dave, just talk, this has been bothering me for the last couple of days. Talk me out of this if you need to. Maybe I'm just overthinking this, but like my marketing messages through the database went out to my own realtors and tell me I'm crazy or out of my mind or whatever. Let's pause right there. Was she like that with the people on my team Thursday and Friday when she called in to complain? No. So why was she like that with the people on my team on Thursday and Friday, but she's like this with me on Monday? You tell me.
Cool down,
Something
maybe.
happened.
Okay, number one could be time and cool down. That certainly does help, which is why whenever we deal with a crisis in our business or see something that we want to react to, we should probably do nothing for 24 hours because we'll be a little more thoughtful the next day. But what's another reason why she was different on Monday?
Because she likes you and you helped her in the past.
All right, let's talk about that for a minute. Are you ready? John Maxwell is probably the best teacher of leadership, I believe, out there, who's written a bunch of books on this topic. His number 1 lifetime bestseller is The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. I think it probably should be required reading for realtors because you need to be a leader to build a business. You need those qualities, those 21 qualities or whatever. Let me give you law number 7, the law of respect. This is what Maxwell teaches. People follow leaders naturally stronger than themselves. Shall I repeat that? People follow leaders naturally stronger than themselves. We good? You know where I'm going with this one. The problem is this broker's on the phone with my people. And my people are not as strong in leadership as I am, not running organizations, not as experienced in database or in dealing with the clients. It is what it is. I can't change that, right? But then she gets on the phone with me and she knows that, listen to me carefully, are you ready? I'm stronger than her. You got it? It sounds weird, probably came out of my mouth the wrong way, but you get the drift. It's true. There's truth to it. Okay? We have to influence others. We can't let our people in our database influence us. Who's stronger here anyway, kiddos? You can't build a business by being the baby.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. So she's on the phone with me. She's literally thinking, I know what Dave's going to say. Dave, talk me out of my bad mindset. She wanted me to tell her she's being stupid. So what did I tell her? I said, and we'll mention names again. I said, look, I market to everyone. You know what I hate to say if I were a broker, here's what I would do, because I'm not, but what I would probably do if I were in your shoes is tell my realtors, look, you need to market as frequently as I do. Model me, for Pete's sakes. I'm leading by example, market to everyone all the time. Of course, I don't want to, compete with you and stuff like this, but model it. Does this make any sense? For Pete's sake, step it up. Be tough. You need to do marketing too. Why don't you do the program? Or something like this, right? Okay, but this is my energy and attitude. Why do I have strong energy and attitude about this?
Did you feel strongly about it?
Because I feel strong, because I developed myself as a leader, because I know my own worth and identity, and most people I coach don't. Does this make sense? The broker was having a problem because the broker was feeling small. The broker's identity is down there. The broker's like, oh no, now what? What are my realtors gonna think? When all I'm thinking is, if I got a complaint, like I just took an employee phone call from one of the people on our team, man, I don't really care anymore. If she's like, I'm not happy or whatever, okay, well, it's no problem. We can part ways and stuff. I don't care. Because my posture and identity is stronger. We're gonna keep building no matter what. Does this make sense? I know who I am. Most people don't.
Can you dive a little deeper into that, Dave? Because a lot of people will take that kind of sound bite and say, oh, that guy's just an arrogant prick.
Right.
And there's a massive difference, as we all know, having that kind of confidence and being okay. Hey, if you want to quit, quit. It's not because I don't like you, not because I do like you, but because of something else.
Okay, I'm gonna go deeper on this topic and make it worse then before I make it better and answer Mark's thing about, because there's clearly a difference. And people that know me know that I'm not coming from a place of arrogance or whatever, or frankly, I'm just, anyway, that's my 2 cents here. But I'm gonna push on this one actually harder for a few minutes first, as wacky as that sounds. So, let's talk about Trump and Pelosi. Let's talk about what you should never talk about for a minute. Let's do that. I used to think, I'm going to tell you what I think right now. I really like what Trump's doing, and I really like what Pelosi's doing. I'm actually digging all this crap. And I'm probably the only one that thinks that. You know why I'm liking it? I'm liking it because as I get older and more confident about who I am, that I have value to add people, that I have a voice, that there is nobody that's better than me, which doesn't mean I'm all that in a bag of chips. It just means that I'm not less than anybody. Does that make sense? And you're not less than anybody, which if you actually believed it, your business would be bigger already. Okay? But my point is, I like what, from a marketing perspective, I like what both Trump and Pelosi are doing. Let's use Trump as the example because he's even more extreme than Pelosi. Actually, Trump does this better from a marketing perspective because he's a business guy. Are you ready? Trump he is very clear about what he stands for and what he doesn't stand for. And I want to share with you this topic for a minute. Not only do you need to be tougher in business, but I'm finding over time that I'm less and less afraid to pick a fight. And I'm actually supporting the concept more and more in business. Let me give you a few examples here. Are you ready? When I come in and do a speaking event, some of you have been to our bigger speaking events or whatever, right, where we get the big crowds. I walk in right in and I start bashing Mike Ferry. I just walk in and I start bashing Mike Ferry. Okay? And I'll bash Tom Ferry's business plan, because I was just in a Century 21 in Montebello where they did, like by simulcast for all 3 of their offices, Tom Ferry doing his business plan light. And then when I was in the office at the time doing a private coaching session, and I said, ooh, give me that business plan, because that business plan really stinks. Let me show you his business plan freaking light.
Yeah,
I don't mind bashing.
That's
I don't mind
that's the
taking a
30-page
fight.
one, right?
What's that, Mark?
It's
That's
10 page.
There's a 30-page one?
No, that's the regular one.
That's the regular one? Oh, okay.
That's the business plan. But his business plan light, which is in here somewhere, if I don't find it, I apologize. Here it is. Okay, this is business plan light. Now, I know that Tom Ferry has never worked in a corporate environment before, or a high-powered corporate environment before, and I have. I was the CEO of the world's 3rd largest jewelry company. I'm not saying that to sound arrogant, I'm just saying I did. Okay? And I've seen executives with high-powered Ivy League backgrounds who are super sophisticated take business plans and they never did shit with them. Business plans are a total eruptive waste of time. I've seen executives, smart, this is business plan light. This is stupid. You've never done one of these and ever looked at it again. It papers people's desk drawers. Are you with me?
I would ask them 6 months later, where's your business plan?
Where's your business plan? I don't know, right?
Later.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, is it that I don't respect Tom Ferry, Mike Ferry? No. If they were in the room, I'd be cordial with them. I admire the businesses they built and the marketing machines they built. Tom Ferry's business plan is freaking stupid. Mike Ferry focusing on door knocking and cold calling is idiotic. When the National Association of Realtors says that 2/3 of deals came from past client and Sphere database. And the 3rd highest source of business was open houses. And the 4th and 5th were online leads. But this dinosaurs teaching, I'm not afraid to pick a fight anymore. So let's take this a step further, even if this sounds arrogant or rude. Everybody, listen to me carefully. Please try to empathize with what I'm about to say. I never felt this way before, and even what just came out of my mouth always made me uncomfortable, and I wouldn't do it. But, are you ready for the but? Maybe a year ago-ish, someone that Roz and I know came up to me after an event, and she pulls me aside. You're here.
Yes.
She pulls me aside, and it's someone some of you may know through the grapevine, by the way, and she says to me, Dave, I just feel like I have to say this to you. You know, the way you're kind of bashing on Mike Ferry in particular, right? She said, it just doesn't sound becoming of you. It's like, I think that's beneath you. I think you're a better gentleman than that, or whatever. And it just doesn't feel right, if that makes sense. And in the moment, I thought, I felt convicted big time, right? Because she's right. I just didn't feel like that's the right way to behave or to interact with people. And then a day or two passed, and I changed my mind radically. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have a problem calling out the Pharisees. I don't. I don't have a problem calling them out. Because when they teach stuff that's stupid, I'm going to say it's stupid. You know why? Because I'm no less or greater than Mike Ferry, and neither are you. Or, does this make any sense at all? Let's go back to database for a minute. Okay, this is when Mark's talking about, I'm not talking about acting like an arrogant you-know-what, like I'm this and I'm all that. None of us are. We're all a bag of rocks on a good day, and boy do we all have our backstories. Make sense? We all do. But we also have power and authority. Stop denying your own power and authority. It's sabotaging your business, right? So, look, now I'm dealing with the complaints about the 3 a.m. messages, right? And I'm telling them, look, the server did that. It's not our fault that it went out, but I'm not here to defend and say it's not our fault. I don't care. It went out at 3 o'clock. That does stink. I don't want to go out at 3 o'clock. But toughen up, kiddo. This is business, and this is the real world. And not everything you do is going to smell like roses, right? Or the opt-out. We get the complaints all the time. Aren't you messaging too much? Or I don't really like your content. Or, gosh, so many people unsubscribed or whatever. Dude, the reason you're freaked out about unsubscribes is not because of the unsubscribes. It's because you have nobody in your freaking database and you never get new leads. The reason a realtor freaks out when a deal in escrow has a problem is because they have no other deals in escrow. Look, I don't care. We just went out this morning to Highland to meet with 2 broker owners and their company and all this stuff to do coaching. I don't care if he signs up with us. I have a ton of customers. That may have sounded arrogant, but that's where flooding the funnel gives you power. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then my energy with them is, if you want to coach with us, I love you guys. If you don't want to coach with us, I love you guys. I love you guys anyway. And by the way, we're busy. Does this make any sense at all? Your posture has to change. You're trying so hard to avoid no. You've successfully avoided yes. Nobody markets. Market more, people. Stop freaking out about the opt-outs. Roz, a couple weeks ago, got a little overzealous with Amani on our team and sent out 6,700 emails to market us. And I'm like, why would you do so many at one time when all the leads are going to come in at the same time and it's hard to handle or whatever? And she's like, I don't care, Dave.
I'll call him at 3 a.m.
I want leads. So I'm on email. It's a Monday morning a couple weeks ago, and I'm on email responding to something just business related. It was nothing special. And I see unsubscribe. And I'm like, unsubscribe, unsubscribe, unsubscribe. I'm like, what on earth are these people doing? So, of course, 38 unsubscribes later, I find out from Roz that they sent out 6,700 emails to try to create leads, right? Oh, by the way, it was 38 unsubscribes and 32 leads later. But you people get no leads because you're trying so hard to avoid unsubscribes. Listen to me carefully. If nobody unsubscribed from your database yesterday, why are you in real estate? You're clearly not in business. Oh, I don't care if you did 24 or 30 deals, you're still not in business. You're not marketing. You're afraid of marketing because you're not interested in building a business. You're interested in looking good in the eyes of others. This make sense? I am not interested in looking good in the eyes of others. It's nice. Makes us feel good. But you know what? At this stage of the game, at age 53 with a wife and daughter and a home and a blah, blah, I care about my family and our agenda. And I care about her family and their agenda. And I care about a couple of people on our team. Make sense? Okay, but that's it. I'm here to build a business. So I don't care if the responses are, I love you, I hate you. Did I ever show you guys the Kobe haters video?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let me entertain you for a few minutes. So, quick pop quiz. Kobe Bryant What was the biggest complaint about him always as a basketball player? What were the guys?
Ball hog.
Ball hog. Shoots too much, ball hog, right? Now, Kobe retired. He is, in the history of basketball, the third all-time leading scorer. He's also number 1 in missed shots by a mile. Interesting? So when Kobe was getting all of the complaints, the haters, the opt-outs, the unsubscribes, telling him, you're ball hog, you shoot too much, what did Kobe do? He shot more. Okay? So Kobe, when he retired a couple of years ago, Nike honored him by doing this TV ad for 1 week only.
I've been hating you too long to stop now. You'll be tiring, but you want to be free. My hate was growing stronger as you became a habit to me. Don't make me slow down. I hate when I hate you.
Okay, so what did Kobe do? Shot more. So there is, I don't know if I can find this. If I can, I want to read something to you. Forgive me for. There's a book called Do It Marketing by a guy named David Newman. Let me see if I can. Oops, internet. If this comes quickly, I'll do it. If not, I'll skip it and I'll give you whatever I remember from this. Anyway, he has a chapter in this book. It's a marketing book. It's a great marketing book. And he has a chapter 61. You're competing with idiots. And he says in it, you're competing with idiots that are winning because they charge more, way more in some cases, deliver less, way less in most cases, shoot more often, shoot faster, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So why is this all, but it talks about you have integrity, you have ideals, you have attention to detail, you have work ethic, blah, blah, blah. So why is any of this a problem? Because you're competing with idiots who are doing these things. The ones I circled were shoot more often and shoot faster. Okay? So what happens when someone who's doing like our database program or whatever gets spooked by an unsubscribe? What do they immediately want to do? And the answer is very simple. They want to stop marketing. They want to stop shooting. But the only way you're going to grow a business is by shooting more, not less. Is this making any sense?
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you right now that my question for you, I'm going to send a little video, if you don't mind. See if I can, if there's any power in this thing. Here we go. I'm going to shoot a video over to Mark. It's a little short video called basically, Are You Tough Enough to Build a Business? And if any of you guys want to, just grab it from him, okay? But I'm obsessing with this topic because all of the complaints happen this time of year, and the reason it happened, not all, but a lot more happen this time of year, and the reason it happens this time of year is because you're checking out of your business and you're not working hard. And when you're not working hard, your mindset goes awry, and you start self-sabotaging, wondering about your business, worrying about your business, and majoring in the minors, majoring in the minutia. Does this make sense? Okay? I don't have time to deal with, this kind of stuff. And when I mean that, I don't mean it figuratively, I mean it literally, and I'm going to show you an example of this in a second here. Okay, Mark, I just sent it to you. This is my coaching schedule. I just want to read this off to you. This is December, right? This is yet 2 days ago, Monday, December 16th. 7:30 coaching session with Rami Suribari, lender. 8 o'clock possible new client Sylvain referral. 8:30 realtor Doug Betts. 9 o'clock realtor Percy Segura. 9:30 broker Jennifer Puglisi. 10 o'clock realtor Robin Owerda. 10:30 broker Annette Fraley. 11 o'clock broker Yoli Andrade. 11:30 broker Frank Arrow. 1 o'clock escrow Carrie Duncan. 1:30 broker and team Rich King. 2 o'clock realtor Brenda Molesky, right? Shall I continue? 2:30 property management Tracy Otteson. 3 o'clock general manager of an international logistics company Alex Viridov. 3 o'clock to 4. Broker at 4 o'clock Susie Trinidad. 4:30 Claudia Ilkin realtor. 5 o'clock Karen Carrillo realtor. 5:30 Elvis Huerta realtor. My question for you is, do I have time for listening to negativity? No. So I could get customer complaints about anything, and what's going to be my reaction to it? My reaction to it is, I don't have time. What's my reaction to problems with a client? Or if I have a problem with somebody in escrow, one of my clients doesn't like everything, what's my reaction to it? I'll replace them on the calendar then. Does this make any sense? Listen to me carefully, please. There are 2 antidotes to a negative mindset. Number 1 is work. For Pete's sakes, be very careful this time of year. Be very careful. I mean, some of you are engaged and you're hardworking, and at least you have leaders that model it, thankfully, right? That matters a lot, because there are offices where you don't get that energy, right? Because they understand the power of a work ethic, right? And then they understand what it's done for their lives and all this kind of stuff, right? But there is a number 2. I mean, work, because when you work, you're flooding the funnel. You can't help but be positive, right? You know, Roz has been dealing with a lot of the customer service stuff, but she also deals with a lot of the sales stuff. So in a way, she picked herself up, got on the road, and this is the 3rd office she's hit with me or whatever. And it's been great for her, because people signed up for some stuff in other places and all this. So it's like, get back into sales mode, and all the problems go away. Does that make sense? Sales cures all ills. I'm a business coach. I care about profitability and P&Ls and balance sheets and all that kind of stuff, right? I care about strategy and the way things are done. But the truth is, I care first about sales, because you have no business without sales.
Yeah.
Make sense? So anytime people are complaining about details and minutia, they're almost certainly complaining about things that don't have a major impact on the business. Even when things bother me, like if there's a social media post and I didn't like the language or the articulation, because someone on my team posted it for me and I wouldn't have said it that way. It bothers me, and it's stupid crap. You get my drift? I can fix it if it's not going to help the business at all. So be very, very careful. So number 1 is get busy. Get busy. Number 2, the second way, the antidote to this kind of like being bothered by haters and melting down, unlike Kobe Bryant, is who you surround yourself with. Who are the 5 people you're surrounding yourself with? Who you hanging out with? What tapes, books, CDs, role models, mentors, podcasts, right? If I take the brokers that complained, the realtors that complained, and all this, right? And we're not getting complaints all the time. I don't want to exaggerate the story for you, but I wanted to harp on this because it's a seasonal issue, right? If I take all of those people and ask all of those people, what good books, tapes, and CDs, and podcasts, and mentors, and coaches have you been listening to lately? What's the answer? None. Of course it's none. Otherwise, they would be tougher. Does this make sense? Okay, let me shift gears here for a minute on topics. I want to talk marketing, and I want to specifically talk gift giving for a minute, since it's Christmas anyway.
Against the law. Keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Gift giving. So it's Christmas, and did you know that for some people, gift giving is, gift giving, if you think about it, is just a way to turbocharge database marketing, right? How you doing, Nick? How are you? Good. Gift giving is a great way to turbocharge, database marketing. I have a few clients that are so sophisticated and meticulous about gift giving that actually on our one-page business plans, we put gift giving as a separate marketing channel, separate from database, because they're so good at it. Okay? It's like a whole little world of creating leads and deals. So let me give you a couple of quick stories just to get your creative juices flowing. Did we talk last time about buyer's appreciation parties or the Claremont Club or any of that stuff? No. Okay. So I'll give you a few stories on this one. Get your juices flowing just to get creative around, like I tell people that are doing the database program, what else can you do outside of us to make this thing move even faster and get more deals, right? So some of you know the story. 6 years ago, my brother-in-law asked me for help, and he was in real estate, and he had a kind of a crappy year, only doing 6 deals, and I told him, where's your database? He didn't have one. He had 100 names on the phone. I said, deliver them all a gift in 30 days. And he brought donuts, okay? And he ended up with 3 buyers in escrow 45 days later from delivering donuts, because people appreciated the donuts, apparently, right? Saturday, I'm in Redondo Beach with my family for this boat show, this boat light Christmas show or whatever. And so I'm seated at the dinner table with my brother-in-law, right next to him, and he wants to talk business. He's excited, and he's talking about business all night, right? And then the really stupid thing, by the way, totally unrelated to business, is the meal's over, and then we ask the waiter, where's the boat show? And the waiter says the boat show's over, and it was on the other side of the hotel.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, I had to listen to my brother-in-law talk business for 2 hours and miss the boat show. That was fun on my day off. Anyway, so here we are, and my brother-in-law tells me, I got a story for you to share with your clients. Okay, hit me, Juan Carlos. He says, so this Christmas, 250 gift baskets.
Oh.
Okay, 250, all Godiva chocolate. I have a photo or even video of one if you want to see. $25 each. Okay, so he spent over $6,000 on gift baskets. Now remember, 6 years ago, he brought 75 or so families donuts that cost like, because we had a discount with Krispy Kreme, $5 each. Okay, so he went from, whatever it was back then, I don't know, 400 bucks. Yeah, to
Thousands.
yeah, whatever now, right? Okay, great. And he said, and I just did Godiva because I wanted to be simple. I was thinking of doing $50, but I figured, that's not even necessary. $25 is fine. I'm like, okay, right? What's your point, dude? Right? And he said, I'm halfway through the deliveries, 4 deals already.
Wow.
I said, okay, so how are you getting the deals? And he said, well, I'm not asking for them. I said, I know you're not asking for them. How are you getting the deals? And he said, I'm just delivering the presents and just, what he said, what's bad is now I drive up to the curb, I keep the car door open when I go deliver the present because everybody wants to invite me in, ply me with food and drink and alcohol and hear the life story and all this, which 6 years ago I told him is exactly what you want, right? Mm-hmm. But now he's delivering 250 gifts, okay? So he's like leaving the car door open so he can kind of hint to them that he can't stay long. And so he's even doing, kind of being rude about it or whatever, but and he's like, yeah, but people are like socializing and hugging me, kissing me, inviting me in. Some of them I'll go in for a minute or two, but I always, because I have to still deliver half of these things and I only have how many days or whatever, right? So he says, but people are just like, hey, do me a favor, here's the number, call my brother, he wants to buy a house. Or he's just getting these things. You with me? Mm-hmm. So with his, $6,000 expenditure and his 4 deals and he's only halfway through the database, I don't care what actually closes. That's a pretty high return on investment. Your problem, of course, is because, forgive me, I can't help myself, because there was no barrier to entry to join in as a realtor and the test is easy and it didn't cost you a whole lot of money, you never think about investing or reinvesting in your business. Reinvesting is a curse word because you're still living paycheck to paycheck. Let me harsh on this more and get under your skin. The reason you're living paycheck to paycheck is because you don't reinvest. It's a vicious cycle is what it is. You will think paycheck to paycheck and not reinvest and stay paycheck to paycheck. Are you with me? There's only one reason for me to have as many people on our payroll now, Roz and I, right? Even for Roz, it's a risk now that we have all this payroll because, our livelihoods are dependent upon this thing. And we got all these freaking people working with us now and all this other overhead and all this mishmash nowadays, right? Listen to me carefully. It's the only way to build a business. It is the only way to build a business. And I remind you, there are only 3 forms of leverage: leverage through mentoring, coaching, leverage through people, and leverage through marketing. Right now, we're just talking marketing. Make sense? So we gotta give, the giving of gifts, you don't have to do it, okay? But it's a powerful marketing channel. So let me give you some more examples if that wasn't creative enough.
Question for those 250, are those just people he knows, or are they like past leads, past clients, or all of the above?
Yeah, more than half, in his case, more than half are past clients.
Okay.
And a couple of referral types, okay, who have never done deals with him, but give him referrals. And family, friends, and circle of influence. And also warm leads that he's targeting.
Does he let them know he's going, or he just shows up?
Both. So what he does is he tries to do it geographically because he's got people
Like
scattered around. So he's trying to do like in a geographic area. And then he'll have my nephew, his son, or he does have an assistant now, make the phone calls and try to line it up, but half the time it's a mess. So sometimes, if he goes and delivers 15, maybe 4 or 5 of them are going to be there. It doesn't matter, just go deliver. Or as we like to say, when in doubt, flood the funnel. right? Or when in doubt, just press send. Don't overthink this stuff, just do it. Watch what happens, right? Okay? And if they're not there, he's taking a photo of the gift on the door and texting it to them and saying, just stop by, hope all is well, miss you, happy Merry Christmas, whatever, right? Okay, so that's the gift giving portion of this. Let me give you some other examples if you want to get into creativity. Okay, creativity, ready? Lynn Munger Perry is a broker in Upland. She does real estate loans. Okay, we've known her for a couple of years now, and she does private coaching with me, and she's a sweetie. On the DISC assessment, one or two of you in this room may relate, she's a very high I. She's a high social. Got it? Faster paced, people-oriented, bubbly, whatever. She's the kind of gal, like, she's at parties all the time. She's the one that goes to Del Mar with the crazy hats for grand opening. She and her husband own racehorses, and one of them raced in a stakes race at Churchill Downs on Derby Day, and she's there dressed like some crazy thing, right? This is Lynn. She's a personality and a half. Like, she's telling me stories on her coaching sessions about, like, she knows actors and actresses because she was at UCLA, and she goes to these crazy. That's her. So shouldn't somehow that be used as a marketing channel, right? So Lynn just did a client appreciation event, which was a little bit creative. She rented out the Claremont Club, $1,800, Sunday night after hours from 6 to 8 p.m. Claremont Club allowed her 60 guests for basically $30 each to get 3 minor spa treatments. Interesting? Mani, pedi, short massage, that kind of stuff, right? So Lynn goes and invites by email, which she regrets, we'll get to that, 200-something people, past clients, refers, that kind of stuff, right? For her, it's mostly past clients because she's been doing real estate loans for years, right? And 68 showed up. That's her numbers. And the day after the Claremont thing was my coaching session with her. So just so you don't think I make this crazy stuff up, I promise you I never do. My people are crazy. This is what she told me.
30%. 33%. You should got more.
So she gave people champagne, she gave people raffle tickets, people gave her flowers, gave her champagne, and she says, but Dave, get this. I wrote this in my notes. I got one refi, one neighbor who needs to sell, a possible reverse mortgage, a listing, and a loan. And I said, okay, so, like, how did you get them? And she said, you know, at the spa event. I said, yeah, but what do you do at the spa event? She said, nothing. I just got my treatments and hung out with people and drank. I said, so how did you get these? She said, people just came up to me and said, hey, Lynn, can you help me with this? And can you? Sometimes we forget the power of the law of reciprocity, okay? Robert Cialdini, Arizona State professor, wrote this great book called Influence many years ago, in which he argued there are 6 marketing weapons of influence, that if you do these things when you're interacting with potential clients, they want to do business with you, they can't help themselves. And number 1 is reciprocity. He defines the law of reciprocity as follows. If you, number 1, give gifts, or number 2, extend invitations, or number 3, perform favors, people want to do more than that in return for you. It's human nature. Okay? So let's talk through all 3. Give gifts. Okay? So you've heard a few examples of giving gifts or whatever. Let's talk about the book Giftology. If you want to read a book if you want to buy a book on Amazon for $10 on giving gifts, go pick up Giftology. It's written by the #1 Cutco salesman of all time, a guy named John Ruhlin, R-U-H-L-I-N. And in the book, Ruhlin argues that gift giving, that he says that that's the only thing he did when he was at Cutco, was give gifts, okay? And the sweet spot, in the book you'll get a bunch of crazy ideas on it, I'm only gonna give you 1 or 2 quickies that caught my attention. He said the sweet spot's giving 4 to 6 gifts a year to the same people. Target them and give them 4, 5, 6 gifts a year, okay? He says the dollar amount of the gift does not matter, the thoughtfulness does, whatever, but you do what you gotta do. But he also says, try to give them when everybody doesn't. So he's not a fan of Christmas gifts. He himself is a fan of, you know, whatever, National Roses Day, and pick all kinds of crazy things so people remember you, your uniqueness stands out, okay? And so gift giving's one, right? Kind of hard not to. What did I tell my brother-in-law 6, 7 years ago? Dave, I need help, my business is struggling, I had no background in real estate, where's your database? Deliver a gift to every one of them in 30 days. That's the first thing I told him to do. So if you're asking me what's the first thing I would tell someone to do who's a new agent or a struggling agent, it's number 1, where's your database? Number two, why aren't half the people you know in your freaking database? Why is your identity so weak? Why are you not tough enough to build a business? Why are you afraid to talk to family members, friends, and everybody else you already know? Why do you want to go door knocking with cold freaking people instead of talking to people you already know? Why don't you just go get a job instead because you don't have what it takes? Honestly. Okay? Why is it that realtors take years until they put everybody in their database when they're comfortable enough, or whatever the heck that means, right?
I don't want them to think I'm trying to sell them, Dave.
Yeah. Or network marketing people immediately attack someone's database.
I just gave someone that same advice this morning
Crazy, right? Hey,
Mhm.
good advice.
on a new agent.
Good advice. It's like, why aren't we marketing to them, if that makes sense? And why don't we just start giving them gifts? And if we don't, you don't have to say anything. I told my brother-in-law, wear a Remax shirt, wear a name tag, and go deliver gifts. People, wear your Realty One polo shirt or whatever you guys have, wear your name tag, go deliver gifts, and you don't have to talk about real estate. Right? Some of you can anyway, you already know it. It doesn't matter. Okay, so number one, giving gifts. Number two, performing favors. Performing favors. Not a bad marketing strategy. So let me give you a real life, really weird example of this one. Angel may know him, and Mark probably knows him too. Jesse Rodriguez over at Cal American Homes has a
Yes.
brother who's in insurance. Okay? So his brother is kind of a high volume insurance guy himself. And the brother's only marketing strategy, I had a long conversation with him about it, is he's on the phone all day long calling people in his database, chatting, saying hello, catching up with them, social. And he's always asking them the same question. What area of your life can I help you? What do you need help with that I can give you a resource? I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's plumbing, marital counseling. I don't care if it's a gift. What do you need help with? And that's all he does. He's a fixer. And if people say, I need somebody to help me with, whatever. I need a good or whatever, plumber.
What did you say? What in your life can I help you with?
I don't know the wording he actually uses, so
Okay.
don't quote me word for word on it, but he's just asking him, how can I help you? What do you need help with? Do you need a resource for anything? I can help. And he's crazy. He's the kind of guy that goes and books the plumber, sets up the appointment, lets both parties know, and shows up to the house when the plumber shows up. He said, I do that all day long, every day, and everybody knows that whenever they need anything, they call me. And he says, you won't believe the volume of insurance business I get, even though I don't mention insurance a whole lot. Okay, that's extending, performing favors. Now let's talk extending invitations. So an example of that is people that coach with me privately also get to come to my house once a month. Right? Angel and Patty were kind enough to come and be guest speakers over at one of these little get-togethers in the house, right? But I'm going to tell you, so we had a group that came to the house last Friday. Now Roz had some things going on, working on her house, doing some things, so she couldn't make it out. So if she doesn't make it out, I don't even bother selling products because I'm like, it's kind of a waste of time because when she's around, everybody's buying everything, and when it's just me around, nobody buys anything, it's like that kind of thing. So we're at the house, and I'm like, I'm just going to chill, we're just going to teach people, hang out for a few hours, and just have a regular mastermind. Violating my own rule, of course, of always sharing your product, because we should always be sharing our product, by the way, right? So I'm there on Friday, we have the people over, it's great, we do coaching sessions, hang out, and all this kind of stuff. People go home, and immediately Monday morning, first call she gets is, boom, she signs up somebody who came on Friday to the database product. Or, another example, who was I coaching today? Somebody I was coaching this morning, Olivia Torres, I think no, not Olivia. Cindy Pham. So Cindy Pham is a kind of a Mandarin and Vietnamese speaking gal up in, Old Banker, Georgia, whatever. So she comes to my house, she comes to my house for a mastermind at the house. She's not privately coaching with me, right? But we invite people to come to this mastermind, which I'll get to in a second. She comes to the house, and what happens at the house? She signs up for private coaching with Roz. I'm coaching her this morning, and we're talking about this concept of reciprocity, and she's like, the reason I signed up for coaching was because I was over at your house, and I just thought that was so unusual and kind for you to open up your home and give like that. And she's like, I was thinking about coaching anyway, but does this make sense? Okay. Or like Angel and Patty, having, the team over to the house, or for certain occasions like you guys have been doing. The hosting the big blowouts like you guys have in the house. I saw the pictures online, beautiful. This stuff matters, man. This stuff matters. You have different ways to build your business, kind of like the Claremont Club story, right? So let's go back to Lynn Munger-Perry with the Claremont Club. So my next question for her was, Lynn, how often are you planning on doing this? And she's like, I was thinking about doing it once a year. So what did Coach Dave say?
Twice.
Would you possibly consider the idea potentially of doing more than that? It works. So I got her to doing 3 for 2020. Okay, now I don't mean me, like I'm arm twisting her. She decided to do 3 for 2020. And then I said, Lynn, you're a high social, like a few people I know in this room. I won't stare at people too much, okay? But there are a few people in this room that are very high eyes on the DISC assessment, for whom this could be a ridiculous marketing strategy. So I told Lynn, I said, if you like that, she's like, no, that's totally my sweet spot. I can do parties all the time. I'm like, okay, in that case, Sandy and Enix Padilla are C21, were C21 King in the Inland Empire, but now they're independent brokers, right? And when they used to come to a weekly mastermind in the office, and I became very friendly with them. They're super cool people, and they're very social, very. And every Monday morning they would come, and their numbers were not filled in on their spreadsheets, and it was the same thing every Monday morning. Sandy and Enix would always joke in front of all the other agents and the broker, oh, we've got to stop partying. We would do so much more business, and they're always joking like that, right? Okay. And then Sandy one Monday morning goes, yeah, but we got those 3 leads, Enix. And Enix like, yeah, and last time we did this thing, we got like 2 closes, right? Yeah, and the time before that. And I'm like, no, whoa, what are you people talking about? And they're like, oh, our housewarming parties. I'm like, you get up there and start telling everybody your story. So I sat down and they started telling the story. So here's the story. Are you ready? Just because they love throwing parties and hanging out at parties, they helped a buyer on a close, and just spontaneously they said, we would love to throw you a housewarming party. Okay? So the people said, great, and they threw the housewarming party. And they got 2 or, I don't remember, it was 2 or 3 closes that were referred to them from the housewarming party. So they did another housewarming party for somebody else and got 2 or 3 closes. So I'm like, okay, what are you doing at these housewarming parties? Are you ready? They told the buyer, now they're telling buyers at the beginning of the showing process, the beginning, before they're even solidified as buyers. By the way, we're a little crazy, and you don't have to do this, but one of the things we do for all our buyers is we love to throw a party in your home and invite everyone you know on the face of the planet, if you want, you don't have to your new home, and we do it at our expense, and we take care of all the logistics, and we love doing that for our people. Could that potentially separate you out from the crowd? Yeah. Okay? And when you do that, then what you tell people is this, ready? When it gets close to the time and you're starting to do the prep, the party prep, it's, okay, Joe and Susie, do me a favor. We'll invite as many people as you want. I don't care if it's 20 or 200. Give me the names, the phones, and the emails. You guys know what I'm doing right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give me the names and the phones and the emails. And by the way, if there are people that definitely cannot make it, or they live in Tahiti, give me all their contact information also. I'm going to invite everyone, because even though you know they can't come, they'll be thrilled that you gave them the invite. I'm going to invite everyone. And don't worry, we'll pay for everything. Everybody good so far? What have you just successfully achieved? You just jacked up your database, and the only time we ever jack up our database like that's when we do speaking events. What you're doing now is you're selling wholesale instead of retail. I don't know about you, but retail selling is freaking annoying. We do a lot of it, and it takes a lot more effort for a close, if you know what I mean. But when we go do an event, everybody lines up to buy stuff. I mean, literally lines up to buy stuff. Does that make sense? You guys need to do a little more wholesale selling. Okay? It's more powerful. So how do you do this? Well, the best way to do it is to get your warms, like your past clients or your hottest warms, to give you a bunch of referrals. Does this make sense? So what do you do when you get the names and the phones and the emails? Answer, you stalk them. And you invite them by phone, by text, by email, by whatever, send the invitation in the mail, right? You do all of that stuff, okay? And now you show up to the party, and they're not cold, they're all warm. Look, when someone warm introduces someone to you as a referral, they're warm by definition. When we went to this brokerage out in, where were we this morning? Highland this morning for a broker that wants to hire us to do stuff, right? It was referral from referral from referral. So it was like we're walking, we don't know them, I never met them before, but we're walking into our own living room basically, if you know what I mean, right? It's different, you know that. Okay, now you show up to the party. You got the food, you got the drink. Here is, in my opinion, the key essential ingredient is you must humble yourself and serve. That's the key to the housewarming party. Sandy and Enix did one thing that I thought was brilliant. They would bring a bar, like this wooden, actual physical bar, and $250 worth of booze from Costco. Because that's them, right? And they would show up with these aprons that were hilarious. The aprons had a caricature of Sandy and Enix on it. No C21, no real estate, nothing. Just the two of them, like with chef's hats on, serving drinks. It looked really goofy. That was brilliant. Okay? And all they did was serve drinks all night long. I don't care if it's drinks or no drinks. Serve people. Because you're paying for the party, you're throwing the party, you invited everybody, you were already the realtor, you don't have to wear a name tag, you don't have to do squat. And I swear to you, everybody in the party, the hosts are going to bend over themselves backwards trying to introduce you to referrals. You'll never see anything like it. It's impossible not to get deals from housewarming parties. It's impossible. Lynn Munger Perry with the 3 Claremont Club things committed to me and put it in our business plan for this year, since I'll be coaching her for at least most of the year, right? That she's going to do 24 of them.
Cool.
Now the reason she can do that many is because she's on pace for like 70 transactions this year anyway, so she got a ton of buyers anyway because she does real estate loans, right? So what do you do if you have a buyer and that was 2 years ago? What do? Well, you could call them up and say, hey, Susie and Joe, I do this thing for all my new clients where I do this party and I feel guilty because I never did one for you. Or you can call them up and say, I know it's your anniversary coming up in a couple of months. I was just thinking, if you permit me, if you're open to it, I'd love to throw a little anniversary party for you, and you can invite all your friends and family members and all that. And I'll do it just as a courtesy. You can invite your way into throwing parties. It's not so hard. You can get lenders to pay, half, split it. What's wrong with marketing?
I have it, it actually works, actually. I used to do them with Leonard Bernal, actually, and he would always get business. Spend like $100 or $200, tacos and sodas, and people love that. I mean, it's not anything, you don't need to make it complicated. I've been telling you to do this for I don't know how long.
Too long.
Yeah, it works. It legitimately works. You don't have to spend a lot of money, because what happens is it goes back to the law of reciprocity. It's 100% true, because you're doing something for somebody else, and you're going to get something from it, but that's not why you're doing it. It's just going to come naturally. It's just going to happen. Okay. And people are happy. Oh, I got a new house and you're paying for a barbecue, or we're having some tacos, the taco lady's coming. I mean, I've done that with a couple of agents that I work with at C21 Realty Masters, and we always get at least one new deal. At least one new deal. You do them a few times a year.
It's emotional too, to celebrate their new home.
Absolutely.
So if I can pop this up, let's see if this pops up here. So I don't know if any of you saw this from yesterday, but we put this.
I think Mark did.
I saw it.
Tell them what your party. You tell them about your party you're invited to. You didn't throw it, but
Yeah, I got invited to a housewarming party on Saturday, and I didn't know this was gonna happen, but in front of everyone there, and it was like all their like really good friends. I guess they've all been friends for like 15, 20 years. She like gave a toast to me, and she was like all emotional about it, and I was like, oh my god. And so now I got like 4 phone numbers. People like, yeah, like a few months I'm gonna need you. So, and she's a hairdresser too, so she tells all her clients. She said they just sit there and not sit there and talk, but I mean, there's a lot of conversating going on. So and that's just by chance.
So I'm not saying you have to do this, but why wouldn't you target her and deliver 6 gifts a year to her at her hairstyling salon?
in front of everybody.
Yeah. I mean, seriously. I mean, it's like, and just tell her, hey, I was just thinking about you, grateful for you or whatever, just a little something for you. You don't even have to talk real estate and you're gonna get real estate deals. Sometimes we overcomplicate our freaking business, right? Doesn't matter what business it is. It doesn't matter what business it is. We posted this one on Monday, because I was bored, I guess, I don't know. First 100 people to respond, we actually put 10.
We do 16 calls. Yeah.
First 10 people to respond to this post get a free office. I put free lunch and learn with David Halpern in 2020. I put free office lunch and learn with David Halpern in 2020. So what we were targeting was something I've talked to Mark about. Is like we just want to get into new offices, do speaking events, sell product, that kind of stuff. So but not everybody interpreted it that way. Some of a lot of the realtors interpreted it as, oh, Dave's going to do a lunch and learn, and I can attend individually for free. They didn't think it was like we were trying to seek speaking events. So we got all these responses, right? And it went on. So now we're up to 100. So I had to raise it from 10 to 20 to 50. So now I put 100. We're already at 111 comments. So here, I'll have fun with this. I'm going to change it and make it like 150, and we'll get more people to respond or whatever. But now, so we booked like 4 or 5 speaking events on Monday and Tuesday, which is awesome because those events are kind of for us quite a marketing channel, right? And then, but we got all these other people, these individuals or whatever. What do we do with them? So, law of reciprocity, extend invitations. So we had Roz delegated 2 of the gals on her team are reaching out to these people and inviting them, right? That's why Eddie's here, right? We have all these people coming to different, like, some people coming to something we're doing tomorrow. We'll probably go back and try to get everybody again and come to the house. But watch, it leads to business. And all it is just being, there's, forgive me for going Bible, but I love this verse. The generous soul will be made rich, and he who waters will also be watered himself. There's something truthful about that, right? But the problem is, we don't think about reinvesting because we're doing poverty mentality nonsense, right? We're kind of always over concerned with, I don't have the money. Of course you don't have the money. Because you don't reinvest in your business. Make sense? Alrighty. What else? We did, there's probably plenty enough on gifts and stuff and toughen up or whatever it is. What else? Let's do, since we got a little bit of time here, want to shift gears and just throw topics at me that's of interest to you? I can give you a list of choices or options if you want to shift gears.
Jenna, you had one.
Yeah, go ahead, Jenna.
I had one.
Yeah.
Which one?
I don't know.
You
which
said
one?
you wanted him to talk, but I think you already covered it. It was the planning for 2020.
Well, that was Esther.
Oh.
And we're doing that in January.
Yeah.
No one was here. I was actually talking to David for about 15 minutes myself about my own stuff, so that worked out good for me. That worked out good for me. How about you, Ollie? What kinds of questions do you have? Anything you want to touch on?
Well, like everything you throw out, I just got to take it in and utilize it on my side of the world because all I do is list. So for me to throw parties, all my clients leave. They always leave. But on that
Farewell
It
party.
means they sell.
What about a farewell party? Hey, you're leaving the state because you do have a lot of clients who leave the state. Hey, why don't we throw you a get together?
sounds wonderful, but you know my world.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, I even struggle just to call and say goodbye, and he tells me, why are you not calling them? And I really crawl out of that.
Put Ingrid in charge.
But you threw something out, and every time I walk in here, I get some ideas that just freaking give me some money.
Good.
But you said something, and it was off the subject, but you said something, the law, I can't even say that.
Law of reciprocity.
Anyways, that worked for me when you said it, and then you went in to say something which, right now for me, with what you just said, on my website, people are logging on for many different things. And they're always asking me for questions. So I just thought of something. I'm gonna make my, there's Angie's list,
Yeah.
or there's Angel's list. So people are looking for referrals, whether it be a attorney, no matter what it would be. So I don't know what you said right now, but that's what I wrote down, website.
That's what he said.
That's what he said?
That's what he said.
Okay, because I know when you say things, it's our job to just pick up on what you're saying and then utilize it how we can put it in our business.
Right.
And for me, that one right now, because through my website, all I need is someone to call me and ask me for the plumber, ask me for the whatever, the contractor, which in turn refers to they're getting it ready to get it fixed and get it sold on the market. A lot of people, that's what they're doing, if they're looking at real estate websites. So that's what I got. For not that you said, but it's a money-making idea for me, and it's a money-making idea for a lot of people.
You can put that like as one of the main things on the homepage, and then
And that's
give us your
exactly-
email and phone number.
that's
we'll give you-
exactly
We'll
where-
give you a call with who to call.
Local area.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's because I'm trying to figure out how I could throw the party. And like I said, they all leave, but I guess with you guys,
Well, we
guys
do the
can throw the
brunch,
party.
that's kinda similar.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
just not for our past clients, it's for new.
New clients.
You could do
Yeah.
one every other month or
That's
two, or you could do 2 months. The first
We'll start
the first
with-
Saturday and last Saturday. I mean, you could be just. There's a bunch of different things I just thought about myself, just to kind of keep that going. So, how about you, Eddie? You're new. You're a business owner.
Yeah, so with us, it's a little different with us because like everybody knows someone that wants to buy real estate or may know, but with us, our market's a lot smaller. And so a lot of people don't have businesses or they don't know business owners that have businesses. So I was gonna ask you, how would that work with me?
What is, just out of curiosity, what's been your best or primary marketing channel so far up to this point?
Primary marketing, I would say pretty much word of mouth. I've been doing it for a while now, and so customers already know me.
Well, then everybody in this room knows where I'm going to go. It's database marketing. So here's the challenge. The challenge is it doesn't matter what industry you're in. The number one source of business, always by a margin, is friends, family, past clients, circle of influence, referrals, that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nobody markets to them. So if I were to ask you to make a list of the following 6 points of data, I know we've done this before, but I'll repeat it. And this is where, realtors are terrible at this, because they don't have half of these people in there, not even a quarter of them in there. And then they say, there's nobody else I can add to my database. No, there's a ton of people you can add to your database, you choose not to, right? Because you're chicken, because your business is bigger than you, because you have no strength of identity. So the 6 data groups, if you will, or sets that need to be in a database are as follows, right? Number 1, past clients. Every past client has to be in there. What if you haven't dealt with them in 8 years? They have to be in there. What if you think they didn't like your service? They have to be in there. Oftentimes we judge incorrectly. Roz and I know of people that coached with us and we parted ways and we thought it wasn't a good parting and they came back and referred us business or hired us again. So sometimes we're just wrong, okay? Sometimes we're wrong. So every past client, because the objective in marketing is to it's not to close everybody that moves, it's to present to everybody that moves and let them select or deselect us. Number 1, every past client. Number 2, friends. When I mean friends, I mean the high school friends you haven't talked to in 30 years have to go in there. Why? Because they can opt out, it's okay. Some of them are so thrilled you broke the ice to reach out to them because they never wanted to do it. Some of them don't want to hear from you again and opt out. Some of them do business with you. The problem is you don't give them a chance. Okay? Friends. Number 3, family. Everybody I know avoids putting certain family members in there, which is also stupid because even if we don't do business with them, they know people we don't know. Every person knows 200 people we don't know, right? And the objective in marketing is to be the last person of your profession to ping them, P-I-N-G, to ping them. A ping is anything, any touch where they thought of you for 5 seconds. That's a ping. A ping could be an email, a text, a thought, a phone call, a passing by, anything.
We probably lose business all the time to other people just randomly pinging somebody that even if we've been working with them, all of a sudden they boom and then you lost it, because
Yep.
that person just happened to be at the right place at the right time, but they did it.
So, an example of pinging, that some of you will know this person. So on Monday, we did that post about anybody interested in free David Halpern Lunch and Learn. One of the people that replied was Dahlia Lemus.
I saw that.
Okay.
I laughed.
So Dahlia replied. So I replied back to Dahlia thinking, she'd probably be a good source of actually putting together an event. Okay? So I reply back and we start this little broadcasting or whatever, and sure enough, she mentions to me, she's like, because she was on our hot list once, like 2 years ago for private coaching, and then she never coached with me. She was on our hot list, right? And so I'm on the phone with her and we're talking about events. She's like, that would be great or whatever, and she puts one together with us, okay? Kind of an independent event. And she says, Dave, I'm still interested in coaching, by the way. Can we talk about coaching? And I said, you mind if I have Roz reach out to you? Great. So now they're doing their back and forth by text. So that had nothing to do. We've got to be, we have to ping people. It doesn't even matter what we ping them for. Number 3 is, we said friends and family. Number 4 is what I would call circle of influence. And if you don't know the definition of circle of influence, and if you're thinking about somebody and you're not sure if they're in your circle of influence or not, they are. Put them in your database. In other words, my definition of circle of influence is everything. How's that? If you're not sure, they're in. Number 5, professional contacts. And you may say, yeah, but isn't that part of circle of influence? Yeah, but I just want to jog your memory to get more names. Right? Again, network marketing does this so much better than every other industry because they get a new person in their network marketing organization, they pound them to sit down with a list and make a list. First things first. And they're like, I don't care if you have no sales skills and none of your people ever want to buy Tupperware from you, get your list on paper and I will talk to them. And that's how they call it taprooting. They're like drilling down below people to get sales. But we don't do it in real estate. Why don't we do it in real estate? Why don't we put everybody on the list and try to get through them to the next person, if you know what I mean, right? Okay, number 5, professional contacts. Number 6, every lead you met with or spoke to once. Yeah, but it was an open house for 5 seconds. So what? You saw them. They gave you their information. They stay in your database until yes or no. I don't care if it's 200 years later. I don't care if it's 4,000 messages later. If another person in your industry tells me I spend time cleaning out my database, I'm going to kill them. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. That's you taking time to engage in a negative return on investment activity.
What do you do to people that do repeatedly say no, just keep going? Or just like the stop, you get that text like this.
Well, if they text back stop, the Lion Desk automatically, Lion Desk will not text them again.
Yeah.
It's automatic.
So at that point, are you just...
We'll still send them emails.
And mail.
And mail.
Yeah.
You keep communicating with them on the honest answer is
Different ways.
like when they send you the text back and says, oh, stop, or the email back saying unsubscribe, you've got an immediate phone call. Maybe not like right that second, but maybe that day. Hey John, this is Nick, just giving you a quick call. I noticed that you may have possibly accidentally unsubscribed from my emails. What's going on? You're gonna engage them a different way. Hey, so you still wanna hear from me, just not through emails, right? I mean, again, you can kind of make it your own words, but the whole point is that's another touch point where you can call them on purpose. Hey, I just want to confirm, are you sure? Did you see my last email about whatever? I mean,
That's smart to call for us.
Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah, I've been told no.
Good job
That's
for you.
too embarrassing.
I've been told no way too many times, guys. I don't care anymore. Just hey,
Yeah.
fine.
So this is why database matters. So I have to do this product sales pitch. Can I give you the reason why I have to share with you the product for the 42nd time? You'll get a kick out of this one. Great story on this. And hopefully this will help with your, the thing we talked about in the beginning about are you tough enough to build a business? So I shared with you the story about my mentor who went to jail for 10 years?
Yes.
Okay. And I shared with you the story of what he said to me at the end of the phone call.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't respect me if I didn't go for the close? Did you hear that? You heard the story? Okay. So the concept is very simple. I have to share our products with this group, even though they've heard it 42 times, because that's my job, and because I'm a coach, and how could I possibly model coaching for them or building a business for them if I don't ask always? Now I tell people all the time, if you want to do our products with us, I love you, and if you don't want to do the products with us, I love you. I don't care if you do the products with us or not, I love you anyway. Of course, my posture and attitude, which I actually genuinely believe on this, is if you don't do this with us, you're stupid. I actually believe that now because of the price point on it and because of how many leads we generate for people now, okay? But that's the attitude, okay? So I'll share with you the products briefly. You ready? So we do coaching, of course. You can talk anything you want, talk to her anyway, not me, right? She's the expert. But the database, you're asking what's the best marketing channel? The best marketing channel is database. And I don't care if all of you around here heard this already a few times, it doesn't mean you're doing it, or doing it well, or being consistent, okay? So, real quick, Gary Keller in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent said we should market 33 times a year to everyone in our database. By the way, that applies to non-real estate too. I used to be the CEO of a database marketing company. So this principle applies to everyone. I always thought Gary was a fool, and it's way more than that. No disrespect to Gary, he's a good businessman, but that was wrong. Now, interestingly enough, he's changed his tune, and in Texas 2 months ago, he's now telling everyone we're now a technology company instead of a real estate company, okay? And we're supposed to market weekly to our database.
Yep.
And my answer to you on this one is, he's still not there for Gary, but he's getting closer. Are you with me? Marketing is broadcasting to far more people, far more frequently, both who you are and what you do. Mediocre marketing with consistency is far more powerful than brilliant marketing without consistency. More is always better in marketing, but you do none. You do none. So in our database program, we manage people's databases for them just to make sure the stuff gets out. We do weekly, by the way, in case you're curious. So we now alternate emails and texts. 1 week's an email, next week's a text. Next week's an email, next week's a text. 52 weeks a year, messages go out. Got it? I review all of the content before the month begins. January's already been approved, okay? 1 of the 4 every month are a direct ask for business. Interesting? So it's 52 touches and 12 direct asks. Thursday was the last direct ask. So for December 12th was our day of direct ask. So we sent a text message out that said something like, hi Sue, any interest in buying or selling a home or investment property sometime in the future? And then we get all these leads coming in, like, here's one. Maribel was sending out messages for Sylvia Rios, and she got this lead. She's, I guess, excellence over in, where she could be there or something. Felicia, Keller Williams Whittier, my text message went out, and I just got a lead. Garen Escalante, my message just went out, and I got 1 new lead. Oh, here's one. I was coaching this guy and sitting with him, and this came onto his phone while I was sitting with him. It says, incoming text lioness, Tasheen Robinson, yes, I would love to buy a home. Okay, so we get this stuff constantly, but you don't get any of this. I don't care what your industry is. It doesn't matter. We have to market and ask directly for business. So we do custom for all different industries too, just so you know, Eddie, right? So it doesn't matter what you're doing.
I noticed that works, I mean, even for me, because I get your texts and I always read them because there's always something different. Then all of a sudden I notice it's like, oh, we have this event or something. But I read it. You know, if it was from somebody else and they're always asking me for business, I won't even open it. Or you know what I mean? I'll just delete whatever that email is or that text.
And what's crazy is, even if, for example, even if it didn't even open it, but he saw my name, that's a pain.
Yeah.
Give you an example. When they sent out the 6,700 emails, only 1,500 were opened-ish.
It's pretty
25%.
That's pretty strong.
Okay? Which also means that about 5,200 did not get opened. But a lot of the 5,200 saw my name. That's good enough. That's a pain. You with me? Which is also proof why you have to do marketing more consistently, because 5,200 freaking people didn't open it. And of the 1,500 that did open it, right, 38 unsubscribed, 32 were leads, as I was telling you earlier, right? You can hit them again with the same message. What are you waiting for? 5,200 didn't even open it. Does this make sense? But we're all afraid. We're afraid because we're not looking to build our business. We're looking to validate ourselves in the form of how others appreciate it.
David, what did you say? You said 52 reaches, and then how many?
We do once a month direct ask for business. And we alternate. We do it most eight-ish of times in the year it's text and
You
4-ish
said
times it's email.
1 out of 4?
1 out of 4.
So
So
if
for
you
example,
do
like January
48,
16th or
12.
something is the day we're doing the hit for everybody in January on our database program.
And then the ones are just like value, giving them value, just adding value to them.
Yeah, so it's all kinds of goofy mix of stuff. It could be like an inspirational video, it could be a holiday wishes message, it could be a picture of somebody with their family, that kind of stuff, right?
Marketing.
It's a mixture. Now,
You
so we
have-
do that as a product. Yeah.
So you have them all planned though. You know exactly when they're gonna go out. So
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I know the dates and I know the scripts because I'm reviewing them. Because I have somebody who does the social media content for us, and she does mine now too. She does all of my posts. All of my posts are outside of me now, right? Including the morning text messages with the videos. This gal Susie in Puerto Vallarta sends it for me now, which is cool. Okay.
Very cool.
But I'm reviewing all the stuff that goes out for other people. Okay.
Nice.
They're
This may
emailed in
sound-
advance. They're emailed in advance.
And then you give
So
the
you
okay.
review it.
Yeah, the people in the program get the content before the month begins, so you can veto, partial, edit, any of it. We have a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, 909 number, so you can call. And when Angel was asking the first time we mentioned this about, yeah, I have like, whatever, 17,000 names in the database or whatever it was, and I was all spooked about it. Now we're doing people with bigger databases.
Right.
So it's changed, yeah. So we can handle volume.
So wait, you do all those videos, do you like change your shirt and say like the different date? Cause I know you're always like in a different spot in your house and you say like today's Thursday, January the 12th or something, so I'm like, oh, he's actually doing them. But you do them all in one day, huh? And you move around.
I used to. Now because we have so much, now we
Because
have,
it seems real. I'm like, oh wow, he does these every day.
that's awesome. Well, I don't want to
Yeah,
talk.
I don't
I don't want to
wanna
talk to you.
bust
I probably shouldn't answer that, right?
Don't answer that. Move
Yeah,
on,
they're
move
so
on,
good
David.
videos.
It's on video, oh shoot.
They're still really good
Live.
videos. They're always really good. I enjoy them every day.
Oh,
Thank you.
That's so cool.
Thank you.
That's the trick, by the way, just so you know. So when you shoot the videos, you really do shoot them all in one, anywhere from 1 day to 4 days. Okay.
Yeah.
And yes, you do put a different shirt on. You can generally wear, I think it's like 3 or 4 different shirts. Very easy. Or you change the background, like put a plant, no plant,
David does
that kind of thing.
Remember KJ used to tell you, bring different outfits.
Bring different shirts.
Yes.
And then lately I've been doing ones, if you want
It's
to know
the
what.
content that matters, not his shirt.
Yes.
It's the content.
Yeah. I better not tell you what I'm going to tell you then. I'll skip this one.
Secrets out.
The real weird secrets about shooting videos, yeah. But that's my encouragement about database. But social media is now part of database, and it's no longer optional. It's freaking required. The world has changed, right? So what we do is, and let's go back to the database. The database product we priced at $199 a month, but Roz is running specials for this Christmas season where it's one-time payment of $650 for the whole year. That's it. So that's why I tell people, I mean, with all love and respect, if you don't do it, you're freaking stupid, and I shouldn't say that, but it's $50 a month for
social
database
media?
marketing, for the database
For a
marketing, right?
database.
And we do all of that stuff. We also load in leads. If you have leads on your phone, we can export the leads right out of your phone. We have, FYI, now we're at a point where we have 2 people on our team who do nothing but manual upload of leads, so we can do any volume free. Interesting? Including somebody you know who doesn't work very far from here, who has a brokerage, who has us uploading how many?
We finished 14,000.
14,000 we uploaded, and we did it for free. Interesting? So, but now we have the bigger and better staff. We had a little bit of hiring and firing to do over the last year, so it's better now. Okay, but that's how business works, right? So, but there's social media also. So social media, in my opinion, is just as required, and all it is really multiple databases. So you've got a basic database like a Salesforce.com or a LionDesk or whatever you use.
But then you've got Facebook as a database, Instagram and LinkedIn. So what we're doing for our product on the social media side now, as we kind of honed it in now and it's rolling, is we post 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for you to Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, okay? So it's those 12 posts a week. And the posts include personalized content, which is a real bear on our team. So Mondays and Tuesdays are more generic-y, like Mondays typically inspirational video quote, Tuesdays typically, if you're a realtor, it's kind of realtor-related content, sort of generic. Wednesdays we go to personalized stuff where we dig out your old photos and post something about you, your family, whatever, right? Thursdays, every other Thursday we do a direct ask for business, in case you're curious. So we're doing 12 social media posts a week and 2 monthly asks for business. Let me show you one of these asks for business in case you want to see how goofy this stuff is.
What's the holiday promo for social media?
I don't write the content actually. It's through Susie or Gail. So she's gonna do a post. I think it's on the 26th.
She's talking about pricing.
So let's talk about pricing.
Yeah, no.
I think
So
that's
the
content.
pricing, the social media is also $199 a month, and she was doing a $650 for the year special. But don't do this tomorrow, please. If you want to do it, tell her today. She's doing $997 for an entire year for both. And don't you ever think it's going to get lower, because it ain't. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's the price point, and that's the lowest. So expect more later. So that's the both thing.
Can I ask you a
But
question?
do the math on this, and then if you do we're not there yet, and I'm hoping we get there by the end of 2020. I want to start giving people reports of how much they paid us and how many leads they got and how much we freaking smoke Zillow, Realtor.com, obviously. It's going to be ridiculous how much we crush them. And the deal is, remember this, it doesn't matter if you're good at Facebook targeted ads and get a ton of leads, they're all freaking cold leads. And your conversion sucks on them. They do. This is your warm. This is different. Does that make sense? So when we're doing leads, this is a very different game. Because now, remember this, please. I'm not selling this hard because I love selling this hard. I'm selling this hard because this is what built my business. This is what built our business, if that makes sense. Whenever Roz wants more leads, she just pushes buttons. Does that make sense? Literally.
I'm not a door knocker.
Yeah, no, that's the truth, right? So let me just show you this crazy one. You guys know he's over at, he's down the block. Johnny Sosa and his wife Yvette. I don't know if you know them. They're on Jesse Reyes' team. So I want to show you this. We post this thing for him. He'll get a kick out of this. Okay, this is what one of the, like those types of, if down payment was not an issue, would you consider purchasing an investment property sometime in the future? Right? 24 comments he got. I'll read the comments to you, they're pretty entertaining. Of course, yep, yes, qualifications with a question mark? Yes, yes, yep, yep, yes, yes, yep, yes, what's the catch? C, yes, 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 C cloud.
We.
C claro, yes for sure. This one I like, yes in the La Puente area, I like that one. Yup, well of course. What loan program are you referring to? It just goes on and on.
And what was the post that you said?
If down payment was not an issue, would you consider purchasing an investment property sometime in the future? So we're up to about 12 different scripts that we rotate through and all this kind of stuff. So we want it to look fresh all the time,
And that's
right?
not an ad, right? That's just to his
We put our
friends.
post twice
It's
a
just
month.
his post
Just his post, right?
on a Thursday, every other week, right, and that kind of stuff.
Nice.
So it's
So
no
you guys
different
do
from what
that?
we do.
We do that.
We do
Mhm.
that, yeah. And we just cultivate, we'll create content for your industry or whatever, because it obviously has to match your stuff, right? But this is just, all it is basically, how many times are you keeping in touch with people? If it's 52 touches in the database, but then the social media with the 12 different posts and how many people actually see it, even if they don't like it, there are a lot more eyeballs seeing it than you know, right?
Yes.
So this is where the power of database is, if this makes sense, right? But even like yesterday on, let me just show you this one here. Where is she? Here's another one for you. Same thing here, 16 comments. Here's another one, right? This one, we just went back to the old school one. This one just posted 2 hours ago, so we'll see what happens here. Any interest in getting a professional valuation of your home?
I saw that.
The script I want to use, but it's too long to fit in here, is to put in parentheses afterwards, because Zillow is so ridiculously inaccurate. That's kind of what I wanted to put in there. It doesn't really fit so well. But we'll play with this script.
Roz put the kibosh on that. She's like, yeah, she doesn't.
Yeah, just when we need Zillow to sue us, right?
Yeah, I know. Can I ask you 2 questions?
Yeah, please.
Number one, in the last year, because I know you guys your business is growing pretty quick, and ours is about to, as a team, very quickly. What have you learned? Because I know you're always learning.
Great question.
What was one thing that stood out to you that you were like, I've been in business for a long time and I just learned this?
Start with Roz, because she'll give you also an interesting vantage point on this one, I know.
Yeah,
Go
so
for
in
it.
the last year, what have I learned? How important it is to have the daily meeting, weekly huddle, and thinking time. And also we get together like strategic planning, which is huge. That's been the game changer.
Can you talk more to that a
Daily
little bit?
meeting YouTube?
Yes,
Or
David
the-
and I, we actually, I would say for more accountability purposes. So every day I send David a text, except for the weekends, because I like to take a little time off with the family.
And Mondays through
Be the
Fridays,
mom, right, and the wife. So Monday through Friday, I send David a text, who are my targets, and the dollar amount, and what my goal is for that day. So ever since I started doing that with David, for accountability, I'm not gonna report a 0, at the end of the day. I mean, it's not always, right, and not always 100%, but that's been the one game changer for the year, doing that. If we're not talking about the business or with the team, the weekly meetings with the team, just having that thinking time together, and then coming to the house together, that's huge too.
So I'm texting her early
So I
morning,
send
every
him
morning.
a
How much
text
money?
every morning.
How much money hit the bank account? I shared openly with Roz. I don't care. She's my partner in this. And what we're on pace for the month. Of course, they have to have flame emojis with it. 'Cause it's flame. And then she texted me, as she mentioned, priorities. Like here's yesterday, $9,771 in priorities. And it has names. Glenda Rivas, $997. Text this morning and last try, we'll try a crazy deal. Irfan Nazir, $997. And it has names. It's Adrian and Sandy Orozco, 2,000, blah, blah, blah. Right? And then on the bottom, you just signed them up? Wow. Okay, that's cool. And then on the bottom, she put 3,000 with flames, which means that's what I actually want to close today from my 10,000 in targets. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then whenever she closes, you've seen this before, most of you, is whenever she closes stuff, she's just texting me like, like your Henry Porche, $650 database on demand program with a bunch of dancing.
So when I
girls and
close them, I
flames
send
and-
them to, so maybe like
bringing the
you
dog,
guys
right?
do your own group
Oh,
text,
we actually
right?
do pretty
You
much.
do that daily?
But we've been meeting a lot more, which has been helping. Like we've been actually meeting in person a lot more than we used to, but that has not. I don't want to say motivated because we're already motivated, but it does
Right.
kind of motivate you, accountable as well.
Right.
But also just kind of running over stuff and just being on the same page. That I think is huge. So even behind the scenes, not so much what you're doing out there,
Right.
but what you're doing operations wise
Behind.
too. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
That's for me, that's fun, it's been
Okay.
a change.
When you meet more often, it validates what you're doing.
And Mark's in the meeting, so that's why I like the meetings because Mark's there.
It validates
And
what
Mark
you,
should
it,
be
val-
there.
it validates what you do. It validates all the stuff that you're doing when you're not eating together.
Mhm.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm doing that right, or hey, I gotta tweak that. It doesn't,
Right.
you're right, it doesn't motivate you. No one can motivate you but you is the honest answer.
Mhm.
But it validates what you're doing, so, oh, this is why I'm getting up, this is why I'm getting my ass here early in the morning. It does that, and that's huge.
So, and the way Roz, I'm gonna kind of put a bow around what Roz said, what she felt, because she said this, she's been asked this question a lot lately, because we've had a lot of crazy growth this year, and she said basically for her, thinking time and accountability, if you wanna put a bow on it, right? I'll give you, I'm gonna probably stick with kind of the same stuff, but we had big bursts in volume back in January, and then in July after the vacation, if you remember that whole vacation story, right? So what was common about both of those? And the answer was they both came right after a vacation. So guess what we're about to do? Take another vacation.
So you take more vacations, you make more money. That sounds great.
And as crazy as this sounds, that's exactly the case, because we're not just taking a vacation, we're doing intentional thinking time. So for example, we haven't decided on the question to ask ourselves, although I think I may know yours already. But basically the question, you remember last time, great leaders ask great questions, and the question we're asking in the trip and when I was in Europe was, how do I increase monthly net by 40K a month the moment I get off the plane in LA? And then she goes out that month and we sell 30-something thousand in additional product, and the next month was 90,000, the next month was 89, and the month after October was 109. So it's like this 7-figure increase from what? And the answer was me with a journal on the balcony of a cruise ship staring out into the Adriatic for about 4 2-hour sessions, maybe 1 hour, I don't know how long I was out there. And then coming back and doing a little more thinking time and not being able to sleep with kind of that angst and excitement about we gotta do something here. And then having a bunch of dialogues with her and she telling me that one of the ideas you already mentioned before you went on the trip, so I already did it and I already sold some people this stuff. And I'm like, because of course she never listens to me or waits for me anyway, right? So, but that kind of thing, and then us collaborating on it and rolling stuff out and testing things, and some of them sucked and some of them were great. And this was good in the beginning and that was bad in the beginning, and you know, but this is the only way. You
And
must.
having a team too, that was
Yeah, and the other piece is going from a team of myself, Roz, Amani, and Minu to a team of 16 now.
Yeah.
That's because there's no way to support products and support growth without a lot of people. So you've got to reinvest.
Now, these are people that are electronically based, or these are people physically that are in a location for you?
100% electronic.
Smart.
Even Roz and I, no office, no overhead, no nothing. My office is, you know, that black thing in the parking lot, right? Yeah. Or the desk at home on Mondays and Fridays or whatever, right? For Roz, it's home, and the other people are, you know, Susie, who writes our social media content, retired with her husband after selling a construction business in San Francisco. They live in Puerto Vallarta.
How'd you come across her?
Upwork.com. Shavita, Northern India, is our lead on all, not just Lion Desk, but now she does 9 databases. She's kind of she has a high IQ. She's like Lion Desk, Be in Touch, KW Connect, Follow Up Boss, Zap, Big Purple Dot. She's doing all of them now. And she has a guy kind of working for her, David, on our team who lives in Georgia. And David does, you know, techie, not quite as strong as her, but he's a good guy. And he's solid.
Are you guys at the point here where you're actually making physical calls out?
For follow-up, you mean? Or
Yeah,
for,
on the follow-up,
Yes.
the lead database.
Yeah, so we have one new product for us is follow-up leads, follow-up. So basically our people call your leads, preferably warm, but if it's cold, it's fine too. And the people that do our follow-up calls they know real estate stuff.
That's new, or you've had that
We
one?
started that a couple months ago.
We started in like July or August, and now we have
Pushed
people
it.
that are good at it.
Yeah,
I didn't say that.
we had a test.
No, I mean,
I had to do
that's,
some firing.
those are hard calls
Wait
to
a
make
second.
though, I mean, not everyone can do that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
we're-
understandable to take time to find people that can do that.
Yeah.
And this one, when you do it, it's for all businesses, or just the real estate
You
business?
can do all businesses. It's just
It's just a
Follow-up.
script.
Follow-up.
It's just follow up in a script. You know, what are the 5 questions you need to ask, or 10 questions you need to ask if you're selling widgets, or if you're selling credit card processing or water bottles.
Yeah, cause we for the years, people have been calling me, and I think I'm ready to let that database go, because we're so busy on one end that I can see it profitable on one side, you know, you guys know what I'm talking about. But I see the other side already gonna lose momentum. So what we have to implement, you said we gotta contact them, what did you say?
52 times a
52
year.
times?
times the database.
So now we're
That's
just,
a minimum though, right?
Yeah, what we
Once a
really
week.
like and what I encourage is, especially, and this is easier for the people I privately coach because I get more talk time with them, but I tell them, look, the 52 is great. There are a couple things you can add to it on your own that would also kind of add to this. It's more of the personal touch. It's more of the, like, you guys know, you do it all, you guys do it well. Like I post a picture of my wife and a picture with my wife and then a separate picture with my daughter over the weekend, and I put some caption of like, oh, I already have all I wanted for Christmas or something. And then I get, of course, 300 loves and likes
Say that again?
and more importantly,
I
already have
Just-
everything I need for Christmas.
just look on my feed. It's only a few.
I know.
It was a good one.
And then-
I'm stealing it.
and,
We're all gonna have the same
Oh, we all
time.
have what we want.
and you were going down the right trail because
All the women had hearts.
on Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm walking down, you know, like my wife and I are just kind of doing a little walk up and down the block, and she's like basically glowing and telling me how that touched her. So I'm good for another few weeks.
You're good.
Until I gotta come up
Came
with
from
another
the heart,
one.
man. Came from the heart, came from David's heart, but it's not gonna.
Me and Nick are gonna have the same post.
I got another question.
We'll just do it for everybody. Let's do it
There you
for
go.
200
Side by
people.
side comparison, see who got the most likes.
There you go. Yeah, we should do that for everyone that dated.
Actually, it's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So you get your
Hey,
grandson in there.
I know,
Angel.
I keep busting all your
Oh, I
secrets
know.
today,
Yeah.
man. Damn it.
I
Let's get your
Never
grandson
put
in
that
there,
here.
Angel. Boom, all you want for Christmas, new grandson.
Christian, you're
Boom.
hired.
I'm telling you, right there, baby, right there.
You're hired.
You know what's interesting is I posted that, and then I posted Patty putting up the Christmas tree, and then I posted me and you with the cigar, right? Certain posts get more momentum than the stories.
Yeah.
So on the kids' stories, not a lot of attention, but on the body when you put it inside Facebook, it depends. That one got like almost 800 responses.
Wow.
I posted me and my son. I just became a grandpa, so I posted that right, and it was 420 comments and 420 likes. Then I put Patty putting up a Christmas tree, and I'm walking around her, and I'm watching a football game, and we got like almost 600 on that. Then this crazy guy was at my house, and he got in my car, and I said something like, I'm walking through my garage, and I said, this guy's in my car, and
I was pretending to steal his car.
and
I was like, hey, cool car, and it was in his garage.
And the way he turned to responded, I went like 700 and something clicks, so it's interesting what people.
That was me, I actually got all the clicks.
Yeah, it was, okay.
Did you tag me? Yeah, it was Nick.
No, this is a story.
It's a
This
story.
is a story. So
It's what I've said before. It's because you're humanizing yourself. You're showing more of the human side.
well, that was the whole. We spoke to someone, and that was the whole target for us was humanizing ourselves.
I have one more
So-
question, which kind of goes along with that. I'm gonna have my mom start helping me and this is actually his idea. My mom's all over Facebook, and she's gonna not work what she's doing now. So I'm like, I'll hire you then, because I need someone to do my social media. But she's not gonna be around me all the time. So do I just take the videos, take the pictures, send them to her? What do you do? Because you said you have someone that does it for you, even your personal stuff.
People
Here, give me a write-up, or here's an
We have the
idea.
content prepared automatically, and anybody that's in our program just calls our 909 number and sends us the content. I'll give you an example. Christian's now he's having us do his social media for him. And I'm like, I asked him and Jeanette, I'm like, why do you want us doing the social media? You're amazing at it, or whatever. And he's like, no, the problem I have is I didn't say this, my admin staff is not daily disciplined to get stuff out every day.
His admin stuff is terrible. That's the funny part. I don't understand that.
Yeah, so he just wants to make sure the content goes out with consistency, if that makes any sense.
You guys know.
So
I
we're
see all the
now
time
sending
they
out his
change.
stuff. So
I
we
work
have
with
content
someone
for
different.
him,
That's
but
the
he's sending
problem.
us, he has tons of videos and stuff, so he's just sending us all the videos
Every
and stuff, and we're
month,
gonna.
someone different.
Your recommendation to me would be just here, send her this video. Here's an idea of the write-up. She does the write-up. I okay it, post it.
Okay, let me
We
go
don't
ahead.
okay, we just post it.
So here's what you also do is you actually take a Saturday, Sunday morning, spend an hour or two, and map out like say 10 to 15 posts over the next week or two. That's really what you want to
So like
do.
a schedule.
Because then what's gonna happen is the last minute shit that you're going to post that everybody posts, you do that one yourself. Okay, you're not gonna be so busy that you can't do that yourself, but you wanna have the main stuff be already scheduled and you just be done with it. It's like when I said when I was younger in the business, and I would tell realtors, hey, let's meet like in January and February. Let's map out the little stuff that we mail out, the little cards and whatever crap calendar stuff you're doing. Let's map that out in January and February so you're done for the year. You don't gotta think about it. Don't wait till January. Don't wait till February. You do that up front, and then you can think about doing other stuff.
So we did. I don't. We did 14 videos, right? Were you aware of that?
Yeah, they look really good.
I did 14 videos in 30 minutes.
Wow.
Okay. So and it was the day we had all the people. I don't know what event we had
Yeah,
here.
it was packed in
It was
here.
loud in here. I took advantage of that because it sounded like we did Love Whittier. So thank you for coming to Los Caris. I went in that room. I went in here. I went in there. There's people talking in the background, so it sounded like I was at physically it was talking about a restaurant. It sounded like I was at the restaurant. If I talked about a store and I talked about food and I was actually had food. I'm like, and what I'm telling you, and you see me eating. So when I took my jacket off, and then when I took my shirt completely off. Just kidding. The point is,
No, it
when
looked
we
like
have
you were
the-
like a reporter though.
yeah,
Like you have like people like commotion in the background.
people were looking at him, and so the point is that's what I think you should do. Do what he just told you, and that's up to him.
The videos I'm shooting most recently I'm literally doing it on BombBomb, so I have to so I have the laptop. But I've been doing it outside of my backyard because the colors in the backyard pop. They really pop, so it's just better viewing, if that makes sense,
And
right?
it's a beautiful ocean.
And it's in the backyard, so I'm standing in the backyard holding the laptop in one hand while I'm trying to balance it and talking to it. So I know it's moving a little bit around. But it doesn't matter. People don't care. It's more.
No green screen needed.
No
It's
green
more.
screen.
It's more authentic. It's raw.
Wait, BombBomb you can't do on your phone?
You can use your phone.
BombBomb?
You can use your phone for BombBomb.
if you want.
Yeah, you can. It's a little tricky though. It's a little tricky. Yeah.
Okay, so I have to know words. That's Nick. Me and Nick are in the car and we're driving, right? I can make up any subject I want, and I put music and I put a couple of words in there. Me and Nick talking about food. It's weird, and then it depends how many reviews I'll get.
Right.
So you should be doing the same thing. these guys have a network of family that they can capitalize so much, so what you're telling is perfect timing. You can do it for them.
You just gotta, yeah. I mean, that's when you're saying, and I'm biased, so don't listen to me, but I was like, no, you shouldn't delegate to your mom. You should delegate it to us and have your mom just prepare the content, because you're too busy. You shouldn't do anything. In fact, you should have your mom just shoot you doing, okay, hon, talk for 2 minutes, and then take it and have her send it.
Your mom should actually be the one that calls your past clients, dude, as well.
No, she's gonna be doing all that. She's gonna be doing that kind of stuff too. I'm making her get her license.
No, and
Hey, I used to make my mom get a license too, man, so I'm just telling you, yeah, that's.
No, she'll be, that's just part of her
Yeah,
duties.
because no one cares about you more honestly than either your mom or your spouse.
Yeah.
And that's it. I mean, no one cares about your success anymore. I mean, you obviously yourself, but mom and your spouse, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Should we wrap up with takeaways here?
Yeah.
Get onward here. Give one idea that caught your attention the most today, from any of the craziness today. We covered a couple of things.
I think the social media is huge, and then I think the 52 times and once a month for asking for business. That's my biggest takeaway.
Yeah, sweet.
I already have what I want for Christmas.
That's a good one.
And then, of course, the website one, that you were actually talking about giving gifts and performing favors. When that's what took me to, well, I can't do that, it's too hard, and that's how I ended up with the website page. So,
Good, sweet.
I like the idea of like the invitations to whatever it is, and we're gonna start our events again in March, so invitations bring,
Everyone.
that brings a response, you know?
Everyone, right?
Yeah.
We took some of the boards where there are these private things in my house with clients, and we took one of them and opened up and invited like a ton of people that were just on our products and didn't do coaching. So we had 28 people show up to one of these things instead of the usual 8 or 10. And it was I hate to say it, but it was a sales feeding frenzy at the end of the event, if that makes sense, right?
I remember
So
that one.
it's like, so
There's a lot of
invite.
Yeah.
So multiple points. First one, the antidote to negative mindset is 1, work. 2, 5 people around you or whatever you're listening or reading into. That was very, very powerful. And also the idea of the ping or the 52 touches. So just break it down once a week. However and then once a month, it's a direct ask.
Good.
Pretty simple.
And the ping thing, real quick, when our business started really moving 3-4 years ago, whatever the heck it was because we started noticing everybody kept saying the same stuff. You're everywhere. We're just in the same places we were last time or the month before or year before, but it's because of the constant pinging. Everybody's like, you're everywhere. Does that make sense? So you're gonna create a different perception. By definition, with tons of touches and contacts and posts and all that, people are like, they assume you're serious about your business and it's a credibility thing, right? Mark?
I got a couple. It's again, are you tough enough? And the mental toughness. What else can you do? Kind of a simple question, but kind of specific. What else can you do? With whatever you're doing right now, what else can you do? And the other one is the. What have you learned this last year? I thought that was a good Nick question, and you guys both answered that one. So yeah, those are the couple I like.
Good. And don't forget, I already have everything I always.
I think I'm stealing that one as well. Stealing that one as well.
We'll just tag you on it.
Yeah.
Follow it.
What do you?
I like the whole thing that you said, the favors. That's really big. I get calls from customers a lot,
Okay.
and I could just start implementing that. Like, hey, if you ever need anything, that's good because they'll keep me in mind.
That's right.
I like that a lot.
You can be the source of the business or service, or a resource for them too, right? It works. They both work. Cool.
All the Kobe Bryant videos, so shoot more often, shoot faster, and that goes with your social media and your database,
Love it.
and don't be afraid of getting the stop and the no's and the unsubscribe and the be bigger.
Yeah. Be bigger than your database. Good. And mine is, my takeaway still this whole week is this: are you tough enough to build a business? Because it does take that. You have to be able to let stuff brush off you, and you have to go right back at it. You have to keep shooting. But most people don't. Most people need 4 months with their masseuse and their therapist and their cup of tea and a blanket before they can start shooting again, right? We need to keep shooting. Good?
So they did you.
All right.
Hey, by chance, do you know, the lady who does Shark Tank, what's her name?
Barbara Corcoran?
Barbara Corcoran.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know, because I know you talk to a lot of realtors, is she up for hire for realtors? I see her endorsing, I've seen her endorse some teams, and you know,
They do
so.
like a commercial, do a commercial with them.
Yeah,
She
I've
was
seen-
just
I've seen
here
her.
in Glendora.
The what?
She was here in Glendora.
What was it?
Barbara had her own event.
Oh,
And
She
it
does some kind of coaching.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
She does some kind of coaching.
Okay,
Yeah.
cause I've already seen, I seen her when I was at an event, and they brought up the video, and I seen her, they brought the video, and she's in, no, I see someone on the panel talking, so immediately, you know me, I'm analytical, I got on the computer, and I looked at the guy, and when I brought up his website, it was her endorsing him. Oh, that's cool. The other day, someone said another realtor, and I brought him up to see his volume, to see how strong he was. And when I opened up, he's got a video, and he was somewhere over here. So I think that's why I'm asking you by chance if you heard anybody. But I guess she's offering services.
And nobody,
Okay.
you know, it's interesting you mentioned this, there is nobody doing celebrity endorsements here in real estate for the most part, but you could Google that stuff, cause there's a lot of that in LA, right? Or even national agencies, cause we'd contemplated doing it in the corporate business in the past, right? But there's some, you can find pretty quickly some websites where you can look for some celebrity endorsements, you'd be surprised.
We're gonna be Mr.
That's where we're headed.
But even I remember seeing like, I remember seeing like $7,500 for $15,000 for people that were like pretty well known B-lister types.
I was telling you, I go,
That's not
we're
much.
trying to put a price on it with her, which it
She's
would
probably
be,
more than
but.
that.
Yeah, cause she's her own real estate, got her own little real estate empire, so yeah.
She does?
Oh, yeah, she's a real estate chick.
You mean what she owns, not in the real estate?
Not
She's a
anymore.
broker owner.
She's a broker owner, but like, obviously, she's got little minions working for her.
So maybe you'll see me on next video with Barbara.
I'd love to see a video with you.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome, yeah, that would be
That would
awesome.
be cool.
Yeah.
Alright,
Cool.
good.
Thank you, David.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Appreciate
Always,
it.
always. Holidays, right?
Alright.
So who wants a Christmas special? Don't be afraid to ask.